All right. Welcome everyone. Can you hear me okay, Craig?
Yeah, I'm here
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. Yeah. Welcome everyone to the next episode of Craig Butler's Football Unfiltered. We are here. I'm actually in the same room as Craig, but not able to be on the camera at the same time, unfortunately. Craig, yeah. Welcome everybody. Craig, how are you feeling? How was the week?
Well, the week has been good. I'm a little under the weather, but we are doing fine. We have the show must go on. And the truth and reality of it is that this week has been devastating, but very grateful to God for the blessings that He has bestowed upon our family. You know, Stephanie, Leo, Sharky, and Leon's mom was in an accident where the car was written off, and they pretty much came up with minor bruises, not a scratch on Leo. So I'm really happy and grateful. I think God takes care of His people, even though He gives us the toughest fights. So we are. I'm happy, and Leon is happy, and we're happy that he was strong enough to go and play the game for Jamaica and to do his best. Given the circumstances, it's difficult to concentrate on football when your family just got in an accident, but and to have driven all the way to the country and back. So very happy to be here, very happy to be alive, and very happy to be Jamaican. I'm proud of what happened after the boys took the stand, 3-1 win against Suriname, and we're trying to realize that this is not something that can stop here. We have to go all the way. I've been preaching this for years now, and we have to make it happen. We have to ensure that the JFF is run in a professional way with great football minds and business minds, and also that the coaching that is provided is adequate and at the level of the players that are being coached. So, yeah, that's why we're here today.
So they're actually saying there's a bit of echo issue. So I may just step out. So I'm gonna leave it for a second. But everybody, let us know how things sound. If we need to fix it, let us know. Craig, I want to get your thoughts on. I guess I know it was an eventful week. The match itself, after all the controversy and issues that have behind the scenes. So what did you think about the match?
Mike is muted. Oh, you muted my mic. Oh, so they didn't hear anything I said at the beginning?
No, they did.
Oh, okay.
I muted it so there's no echo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's great. The game. I can see that Paul Hall is actually trying to implement a system. I see that he understands what needs to get done. I see that the team played the game in the opponent's half. The central defenders pressed very high, and it was a very strong pressing game. I saw the creativity in the players, especially in our attacking midfielder and our wingers. I loved how what Russia has done for Shamar Nicholson, and he is more strong, he's more aggressive, he fights for the ball, he's playing with purpose, and I think a lot of that has to do with the team taking a stand together. I'm happy with the work rate of Junior Fleming. I'm happy with the effort put out as a team, and they can only go up from here. The challenge that we have is the administration, the inability to keep their word, and the incompetence with which they have applied their leadership. You know, unfortunately, this situation in Suriname, it showed a lot of that incompetence, but it didn't end in Suriname. The under-20 team, poorly selected, to put it lightly. also have had the same problem in that they didn't book the tickets for the players to go to Panama, to go to Suriname through Panama, and Honduras through Panama. And as a result of that, those same players, the parents, sponsors, friends, had to go in and raise money for a charter for 14 of those players to get directly to Honduras in order to represent their country. And it really is a sad situation. This is a repeat. So the under 20, they weren't prepared. The senior team, they weren't prepared. The female team, they had challenges. And now we are here as a nation and we're saying, was Craig Butler right? That's what I'm saying. I was right all along. And we need a proper system. We need proper leadership. We need proper coaching. We need coaches that are not affiliated with clubs. We need to remove Rudolph Speed immediately. He has gone very quiet, but we need to remove him immediately as chairman of the technical committee that selects the coaches, because he will select coaches that are favorable to him and willing to work with him and his club. Unfortunately, that doesn't work. And I think, Brandon, I need to share a little bit of my experience about how the football bodies in the rest of the world work, because maybe people don't know. What we're doing in Jamaica is totally against what FIFA mandates. Yeah, the selection of administrators is totally a conflict of interest, totally wrong, and it ensures that only the same people get re-elected. And if those same people are connected to a club, given the work permit rules around the world, especially England, if you're connected to a club, it's a conflict of interest for the players. Leon Bailey was a victim of that scenario. He wouldn't leave and go to a particular person's club without speed. And as a result, the ban on me was kept in place. And Leon was left out of all national teams, including the under 20s. Yeah. And this scenario has come around again to haunt Whisper and Don Hugh Mitchell. So we want to address that. I want to speak to you a little bit now about how the football is run in other countries, the national football. So, Joe Yapchung, a close friend of mine, he's been on the show several times. He was a part of the Football Brabant, which is the Dutch national team, as a coach. And those coaches are not attached to any clubs. The actual football coaches of the clubs of the country is developed by the national team, for the national team. So they get bright young sparks, they educate them, they keep them in the national program from their young, with the youth coming all the way up, and then they move on into leadership. It happens the same in Belgium, and periodically with Germany and other countries. We in Jamaica are utilizing Premier League coaches to coach our under 20s. Naturally, he's going to select players from his club. And naturally, he's going to find any little excuse to get rid of a player that would be competing for a spot on his club, on the national team, once his player is in there. Our best goalkeeper in this country is a player by the name of Akeem Bernard, and they also goes by the name of Pusai. 16 years old, He's 6'3", 6'4", massive player, and very, very talented. He was removed off the national camp for reasons that is unbelievable to be able to remove someone off the camp for that. And I'll speak about it. At Phoenix, I remember when Xander first came to camp. Xander, he was a kid from uptown, fair skinned white boy, and everybody wanted to go and pick on him, or to see how soft he was, or to see if they could bully him, or see if they could get money out of him, or pressure him in some way. Xander showed his quality, strong, and he said, "No, I can't. You can't do nothing, man." And he stood up, and he earned the respect of all players at all levels, all ages, and he continued to develop into the player that he is today: strong, humble, opinionated, leadership quality, technically sound, and a top player. Akeem Bernard was removed from the national camp because a kid from, I think, the US, another player from Waterhouse actually, was on the camp, was trying to say a kid who was from the US. So give me some of your money now. And Akeem Bernard, he gave the kid some money, and Akeem Bernard said, "Hey, can I get some too?" For that, Akeem Bernard was removed from the camp. A player that Akeem didn't need anything, and you're removed from the national camp. First of all, what should have happened was the boy should have stood up for himself. Second of all, if there was anything to be done, have a meeting with those players and let them apologize. The humility alone is enough. But you don't need to run a player away from a camp because of that talent that could benefit your country. Yeah? So, I'm not afraid to speak about it.
Yeah.
Yeah? The next thing is we have Don Hugh Mitchell from Phoenix, several man of the match performances for the national team, and they turned around and removed Don Hugh Mitchell because he went Monday and Tuesday were CXC exams. Yeah, he missed training and went to do his exams those 2 days. Went back in, I think, the Wednesday. Fuzzy came back after all of his duties that week. So he was with the Caribbean Cup or something like that with Waterhouse. He came back. He had, in between all of that, he has Waterhouse Premier League doing. And so he saw Dubé, I think, one day, and cut our best defender by far, undoubtedly. Whisper got COVID and a nagging little knee injury, and was missing for 1 week out of the camps. He was told he was not required to come back for the last week. Whisper was dominating that camp, scoring every goal, everybody loving the player. And so my question is, if what you're looking for, Fuzzy, is a means by which to find a way to exclude Phoenix players, that is the main reason why you should not be the national coach at U20. Because you do not have it in you that if Craig Butler thinks you're weak, or Craig Butler don't think you're a good coach, or Craig Butler doesn't think you're the right person for the job, you immediately get rid of Craig Butler's players. Well, those you can. Because there's some you can't, right? So, the reality of it is, now we're in a position where you have the incompetence at the administrative level, you have the bipartisan, the partiality at the coaching level, and this is now going from the top all the way down. Where do we go from here, Brandon? That's the question. I would like to have Richie on the show, Whisper's father,
Yep.
and Whisper as
We also
well.
have JD here waiting for that to come in, so I'm going to bring on
Yeah, and JD
JD.
as well. So JD is a fellow blogger.
All right, welcome, JD. Can you hear us?
Hi, JD. How are you?
What's up, boss? I've been talking about it today, and I had some questions to ask you. So when Richie called me, I said, okay, no problem. I'm going to get up and spend an extra hour and ask you these questions because it's better for Jamaica. And I heard it. You touched on a few of the topics and stuff. So I really wanted to chime in and see what we can chop up today.
Well, please go ahead. Let's do it right away. First of all, what have are you based in Belgium?
Yes. Remember, I'm in Belgium. You told me that you're going to get back to me for me to pick up something for you, but you never got back to me, right? Okay, both personnels are frozen. Is it me or are them? I think both are frozen. Guys, let me know if you're hearing me or it's them. Okay, so I'm alone on the show. Okay. All right, guys, welcome to the Craig Butler's Football Unfiltered. Yes, I wanted to ask Craig Butler a few questions, so hopefully they can chime in soon enough. All right, so they are back here. Sir Butler, you're here.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, because you left me to run your show for you.
Yeah, my
You guys can't be like
internet
that. I'm
seems
just
to have gone in the kitchen, so I'm going to mobile.
Okay. Yes, I did a piece today talking about you because I saw that you touched on a few topics. And as you know me, I am always trying to get into the bottom of the conversation to find out where we can fix things. And I heard you said something because obviously, remember, you are the person that deals with the Leon Bailey, so you have inside information. And the fact that you said that um they did not pay Suriname, so that's why Suriname went on to sell the seats. And when the president reported it, he said Suriname sold the seats, so they had to go and get other options. So he made it seems as if like they did them a bad one, so it wasn't their fault. So when we're digging up all of these issues, when it comes on to the next issue, I think it was the Uruguay game. The Uruguay game, um, the Uruguay reported that they sent them a 23 under 23s, and they said they don't want that. They want the best possible squad. That's why they turned the match down. When they are reporting it inside Jamaica, they are stating that it was a CONCACAF turned them down not to bring the main squad. So what I'm realizing here, they are omitting things. They are telling you part of the situation, but they are not telling the entire story. So I want to say that incompetence thing that you're talking about is spot on because we're getting literal facts here that we can prove. You know?
I made a call today and I said to the person, listen, you messed up with the first team. Yeah? Less than a week after, you didn't book the flights for the players who don't have US visas. The flights, when you try to book them this late, obviously they're filled going to Panama and from Panama to Honduras. You had parents having to now be trying to find money to charter a flight to take our under 20 players. The person's response was to throw the people who are helping him under the bus. To say that those same parents didn't want to travel on Panama and stay 2 days overnight their players. And so they are chartering a flight, which is the most blatant lie I've ever seen in my life. So immediately after people come together to help you, you immediately throw them under the bus and tell lies to try and save your face. And for me, that is, it's a good thing that Leon and Damian is standing up and the rest of the team and our goalkeeper Blake, the rest of the team, all the team. But it's a long time that these things are happening. Do you remember when Ravel Morrison's agent at the time said that they are not giving him proper travel arrangements?
Yes,
and he
yes,
was yelling about it, and they acted as if it was no big deal. You realize that Ravel Morrison didn't make it to Suriname because they did not make proper travel arrangements for him again. The same for Shamar Nicholson.
yes.
This is a year after they had a contract. That contract has been violated so many times that it's ridiculous. They have continued to keep people out who are educated in the football, educated in the business of football, and want to do well for the country. There are several people that I know that want to be a part of it. When you really think about the support that is now being given to this under 20, it's coming from parents, it's coming from corporate Jamaica, but no one wants to give the money directly to the JFF. Think about that.
Yes, yes, yes. That is
Think about
facts.
that.
Yes.
Yeah,
And this is
it's
facts.
also similar to the Reggae Girl situation for their World Cup. Yeah.
Yes, because people came to me to buy plane tickets as well because they said I should buy. Someone came to me, two persons. One of them, the scouts, which is Devon, and Ian. Both of them asked about it. But I said I want transparency. I want people to give me assurances that these guys will be playing, and I want a letter from JFF that they can't afford the money. So if we are giving them, at least we know that we can notch it down here. And most of these personnel don't know that when you pay money out to someone outside the country, like you were in Belgium, Craig, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. You have to write it off with tax and all of those stuff. So you want to make sure you have a legitimate place you're sending the money. You understand me?
Certainly.
And
The reality, JD, though, is that, in order to get the change that we need, the way that the administrators are voted in has to change. The way that they're selected has to change. The method by which a president becomes a president of the JFF in Jamaica has to change. This 14 parish representation, and they push up whichever one of their cronies they want at that time, and then support each other, and they all eat the food, needs to stop. We're onto you now, guys. We're way onto you. You have continued for many, many years. When Captain Burrell created this thing, I think his idea was to try and keep it so that he could continue, and maybe he was strong enough to do the job that he needed to do. But when you find that you don't have good succession planning, you find that the people and you have a very strong character, you find that the people that were around you, that you put around you, are not necessarily strong people. They're pretty weak and pretty conniving and pretty dirty as it relates to the money. So, for me, I want to speak about Whisper. JD, tell me about Whisper, what you know of this player.
What I remember, he was brought to my attention on YouTube. Then they sent me a few clips, then I checked him out, and I kept getting information, and because obviously you know that I connected with Richie, so he will send in all of the information. So he's a oversized wing forward that can play forward as is like point forward as well, and he has incredible athleticism for his size. because I thought that most people for his size 6'1.5", 6'2" upwards should be more playing as a point rather than a wing forward coming in. But he has that flexibility, so I think he can play all positions across there, and he's a swift, skillful player. But obviously he's younger, so I do think he has a load of upsides, I would say, based on what I saw. And did I
Yeah,
get it correct or not? What do you think
you
about
got
that?
you got it correct. Based off your information that you have about how many clubs you think are after this player right now.
Um, Based on how he plays with his size and his technical ability, I want to say that his reaction timing is up there as a young kid. So I think with Spain, Italy, Germany, Belgium, obviously. I'm not sure about England as yet, but as I've heard that he was already been asked from England. So I think more than 7 different leagues could be off him, because I think he could play in the MLS if his reaction timing could fit into those leagues. So it makes no logical sense to even mention the MLS. So I would stick to European place them. So I would say Spain, Germany, Belgium, Italy, and then England, because you guys told me about England.
Suppose I was to tell you that Real Sociedad in Spain wants him, Genk in Belgium, Anderlecht. Yeah, the if he had a British passport right now, Tottenham, Aston Villa, Sheffield, Reading, all the top clubs, Manchester City, all would have wanted this player. Now, what makes Little Fuzzy, 4'2", Little Fuzzy, believe that his little experience
Hmm.
would be enough to leave a player out of our national team like this, to not cap a player at this, an
Hmm.
extremely important time to secure him for the future of our country. What makes Little Fuzzy believe that he should be carrying players that are nowhere near the quality of Dujan Whisper Richards?
Um, I've questioned that at start, but what I've questioned is his availability, because I don't know if you realize that the Caribbean Club Championship took place when most of these guys were actually training. So he didn't get a chance to see most of these players, and I keep asking questions: who are the ones seeing these guys? And then how can you make a comparison to select a 20-man pool? Remember, most people never knew it was 20 players you had to bring. People thought it was 23 until I told most people. So it made it difficult, because if you brought in Zian Scarlett, which is a breakthrough talent coming from the Columbus crew, because I have a family there, which is Lashawn Brown. And Lashawn Brown let them know about Zian Scarlett. And then Lashawn Brown did not get a call, but Zian Scarlett got called. So it's a weird policy how they do things. Yes. So and then Jamari Clark came in. Jamari Clark is more of a personnel that's playing at big time football, because he already has the size. So he has the similar size, but he has the body that Whisper doesn't have. But he plays more of a direct forward. He can't
I
play the
saw
wing.
both players. Whisper is
Yes.
actually bigger than this kid.
Bigger than him in size.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You
Okay.
ever
All right.
seen Whisper's legs?
No, no, I'm talking. No, true. Maybe I'm seeing the top half, like
No,
his size.
you
I
don't
just thought.
get. Footballers are not American footballers. The great footballers of the world. You look at Lewandowski. You look at Haaland. You look at they're big, but they're not weightlifters.
Yes,
They're not
yes.
designed for that. Yeah. You look at Leon Bailey. He's a winger. You look at just pick any of them. You look at
Sterling, yes, Sterling, anyone, yeah.
Sterling. You look at from Leverkusen. What's my guy?
And BRB?
Schick.
Okay.
No, Schick, the striker. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're tall, strong. Their legs are very powerful and well built. Their body, the core is strong. Yeah, the upper body strong but not heavy and weighty. You need to understand this club is from Reading. How many players from Reading are gone on this trip?
Let me pull up the file here because I have it right here. Reading, one Connor Boyce Clark from Reading, yes. And who else from Reading? And then Jamari Clark. So both, just two, the goalkeeper and the striker.
How much you think Phoenix gave Reading?
No, I never heard you singled out Reading, but you told me that you played numerous amount of teams inside England and you defeated almost all of them, bar
Okay.
I think
So
Brentford.
if Phoenix All Stars Football Academy with Whisper defeated all of them, including Reading, why are they picking people from Reading over Whisper? Whisper scored 16 goals on that tour.
So that's what that's why I came here, because I said I wanted. I was trying to find a way to fit you on a
The
program because I
reason,
really wanted to talk to you.
let me share this. The reason that Whisper and Don Hugh Mitchell, which is our best central defender by far, and I've been saying it for a long time, are not in that team is because they were built by Phoenix All Stars Football Academy. It is because their manager and coach calls it as it is with Fuzzy. And Fuzzy, I want you to think very carefully about where Vin Blaine is today. Because he did the same thing you have now just done to Whisper and Duvey. He did the same thing to Leon Bailey and Kyle Butler at the under 20 level. They were not complained, said they weren't good enough, they weren't top. He's just an ordinary player. And that haunted him for years. I don't forget good things that people do. I also never forget the bad that people do. And what you've done to Whisper and Dovey is unfair. You are selected as a national coach if you have commitments, and that is one of the reasons why I say you should never select coaches who are connected to clubs, because they have a favorite, they would have seen their players and had confidence and love for their players more than others, and they would push their own players. It's a natural bias. That's one. And two, if they have commitments with their clubs, it causes them to not be involved with the actual program, the camps and everything. So they will choose based off who they are most comfortable with. And who they are most comfortable with most times is going to be their own players, one, and two, their
Big names, like the names.
the players from foreign. Yeah? So
Okay,
when Fuzzy goes off and he plays in the what do you call it? The Caribbean Cup? What was it?
Caribbean club competition.
Caribbean
Yes.
Club Championship. And
Yeah,
he's playing Premier League every week in, week out with Waterhouse. You have Wendell Downswell, who is running the coaching. Forgive me. Wendell Downswell, who's running the coaching. And Wendell Downswell loved Whisper, loved Duvey. He comes in, and a player, now you cannot tell a player to come to national camp and miss his CXCs. So if the player have maths on Monday and English on Tuesday, he has to go. He has to study and he has to prepare. And he needs his rest and his mind must be prepared. So when he comes into camp on Wednesday, you can't just get rid of the player. You need to look at the people who are there. You need to look at the games that they had before. Brandon, I sent you a copy of the game with Don Beholding. The man of the match game. Is there any way we can put up some of that game? Because Duvey was man of the match against
I'll
Don
put it up
Beholding.
here while we're talking.
And that's the only game,
Yeah,
JD. JD, that's the only game.
Oh, you're getting a call or something.
I'm getting rid of it. Yeah? That's the only game that Jamaica didn't lose by 3-4 goals or so. Didn't get a blowout, yeah?
Yeah.
And Duvey really performed in that game.
My internet here is not the best, so hopefully can you see it, Craig?
Yes,
Yeah, I
I
can
can.
see it's a little slow.
Yeah, I've been trying to fix the internet, but unfortunately, guys, there's some technical difficulties on my end, so I apologize for that.
But Craig, to be honest, we are kind of counting on you, to make some difference, because remember now, there is kind of shaking up, are about to, because remember, I've reported that the letter that they have actually posted on JFF, they are not saying that he has left, he has not left us yet, So,
Yeah, and
but I'm
I've
saying,
said also that that's a ruse. That's a ruse to get the players to play the game, and then they're gonna try and find a way to slither their way out of getting rid of Dalton. But
okay.
it is the type of thing that when someone's end has come, but they don't realize that the end has come, and they try
Mm-hmm.
their way to all the ways to get around it. You're either going dead today or you're going to die tomorrow because there's a Mexico game coming.
Yes,
And if
yes.
he's not gone, I'm sure that the players won't play. You know, but again, Dalton is a problem because I remember sitting in Dalton's office and saying that Leon and Kyle would like to play for Jamaica. What are the terms of engagement? And basically run us out with a pompous attitude. And it's the same thing that he did with the senior players when they were trying to speak with him on the last trip. He was laughing and acting like, he's bigger than everything. And this is what you can't do. You know, I have achieved, I think, of all Jamaican coaches and agents, managers, I think I've achieved the most. I have the biggest transfer in the history of this country as a
Mm-hmm.
manager. I have developed players, not just Leon, but Kemar Reed, Martin Davis, Kyle Butler, Travis Blagrove, Atkinson, um, you know, that have gone on to play at professional levels from our academy.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the most in the last 20 years players. Um, Several who have gone into different clubs because JFF banned me, like Jason Wright, um, Romario Williams, Dominic James, God rest his soul, all top talented players. Um, Sean Laws. Even though I've achieved all of that, even though I know all the top agents in the world, I know all I can pick up my phone and call any one of the presidents and technical directors at the big clubs. I still go to coaching, take my shoes off, and coach barefoot. You know, I still humble enough to hail them on the street and say, "Well, go on, youth." I still proud enough to speak patois. I actually like speaking patois. It's not that I'm incapable. It's not that I cannot speak eloquently to on any level in any boardroom across Europe. It is that I choose to be Jamaican. And that is what the difference is between me and the micro kids or the Dalton Wint and the Rudolph Speed. They choose to behave as if they're bigger and better and above the players. And it's most likely because they really weren't players themselves. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a youth that I grew up play for JC, play Manning Cup, man like Richard Pat Cover McDonald and Captain Mackey, Dunga Mikes, Arden Brown, and went on to play Major League and Premier League, one minor league for Wagga David Hunt, played in Swallowfield, under Mark Mendel with Peter Cargill, Anthony Badas Carbet, Howard Cephas, David Burgess, Richie Cook, Dominic Spalding, beyond Messi Wilmot, which is Sterling. You know, at that level, you learn to be a Jamaican at first. You know. And I saw the plight of so many of those top players who were actually having to beg Mosfear to leave national training to go home.
Yeah.
And when Mark Mendel at the time started to pay players and wanted to see a professional league in Jamaica, and by example started to pay players, they actually banned the man from coaching in Jamaica. You know. Did you know that?
You taught me that the last time, um, because
And
we were talking on like the difference. Like you're always saying that these personnels are afraid of um, changes, and I do agree with you because every single time we try to bring something different to the table, like the new, like what you said, incompetence. Transparency would clear up a lot of incompetence in because once you force transparency, it's hard for people to hide and fake things. You understand me? So transparency will always clear up incompetence, and this is something that they are afraid to do. So I think you were right from a long time when you said the reason why they didn't want to bring some players in. It was always based on the fact that they are afraid of difference. But it was the incompetence, and that's why they never wanted to be transparent. Just that's what you said from a
do
long
you
time.
know that FIFA provides development money for developmental footballers and the football program in Jamaica? Do you know what the JFF
Yes,
is doing with it?
they
Do
gave
you know what
for
they're
the
doing with
girls
that money?
$200,000. I've asked them the last time, and Mr. Speed said the 2021 on the FIFA website. But when I go there, I don't see the 21 because I wanted to check everything, but I only see the 2019. But he said it's there, and I'm looking for it even to up to this day. And the 2019 is there in the same file. That's the latest updated file. So I'm gonna try and get it first before I know
Do you
exactly.
know what they do with that money? What the JFF is doing with that money?
No, but they said for the girls should spend only on the girls, and they gave them $1 million for the boys by themselves. So I don't know what they're doing with the money.
They're using it to pay staff.
Hmm.
But they have said every single thing that they've spent out, it has to be registered to FIFA. Like they can't pay out natural money, so they have to register everything to pay out. So
Do you
you're
remember
telling me
when?
that?
Do you remember
Mhm.
when they went after our fine friend Jack Warner down in Trinidad?
Yeah.
Do you think that he didn't have to register everything and show where the money
Yes,
went?
yes, 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 yes.
But there are methods and means to do whatever you want to do to achieve your ends if you are corrupt. If your heart not clean enough, bro, and you want to do something, you can do it. You know. I'm I'm concerned about the future of our country's football, and I'm willing and able to be a part of any organization, any team that's going to go forward to do the right thing by our country. I think you will hear an announcement within the next week, and
Hmm.
that announcement will be focused on change. We're looking to rescue, we're looking to recover, and we're looking to rehabilitate the national program. There are people who have extreme value, who have done great things for our country, that
Hmm.
should have been considered. And because of the method by which the voting is done, in other words, you have to be a part of a parish association and president, then these people, including myself, have been left out. FIFA came down and they gave a mandate that by December they should have 61 voting um, delegates for the next election, and that would include the different football bodies and organizations having a vote throughout the country. I think this is a great step in the right direction, and I think it's time that we stop looking to, you know, when a child is really, really bad and does very, very bad things, but because they have a parent that loves them and will always go and bail them out so as not to shame the family name, they continue to do what they want to do. The government of this country and people who care about this country and the country's name and brand, Jamaica, have consistently had to step in to fix issues with the JFF. Now, can you imagine, less than a week, you don't learn from the mistake them were did before? You don't book the ticket then for the youth them? 1 week later?
A couple of days, not 1 week, 3 days later.
Is a charter flight them have to book for the youth them to go down to Honduras now, you know? You didn't know that when you were picking that when you were planning to go to Honduras, that some of the players you may not have US visas? You didn't know in advance to contact the US embassy, use the government if necessary, and let them line up visas for you so you could travel through the US? So that you have a 1 day or 2 day turnaround?
But Craig, I wonder if you knew that a load of the players them that came here, they paid their own fee to come here. Not just the 7. It was a policy of they can't bring people here. So they never had money from the start. They said that. He said...
No. Those said they never have the money from the start. Because the money is there.
I said they said they never had the money from the start. Yeah.
JD, remember, the money is already identified for these purposes already. It is because the money was put somewhere else that you don't have the money. If you have $10 to give to your kids for lunch money tomorrow, and you use it to go out and party tonight, when tomorrow comes, you won't have lunch money. It's as simple as that to them. Right? Now, I believe in calling a spade a spade. And I have driven through every inner city community without the top on my Jeep, full of youth for the last 20 years. So I am not afraid to say what I need to say. Yeah? Because those same inner city communities support what we're doing. You know, if we had a JFF that had in a Ali McNabb, Craig Butler, Chris Daring, and Chris Williams, you know, all playing parts in the organization. You know the support we would get from corporate Jamaica? You know the support we get from the diaspora?
All right. So, Craig,
how can you, JD, if you want a Jamaican jersey,
before you go anywhere, Craig, I was just going to surprise you.
If you want a Jamaican jersey in Belgium, how you get it?
I went on a site. It was, you can't get it directly by the site, but if you try to go, I can get it easy. I have to go to the maker, and then use that website to get it. But I never had any secondary outlet to get it from.
So you have to go to the maker to get it?
Yes.
So, do you know how much money could be generated for the national team by just selling jerseys? Leon Bailey jerseys, Shamar Nicholson jerseys. You know?
Yeah, but that comes with advertisement skills, and that's what I was going to talk to you about. Because I built a video, and true, because remember, I'm a person, I don't know, I go into everything not knowing it, then I work my way up. So I put down 6 things that the guys them ask for. They ask for a schedule plan, people with skills. And then I did some research, and because it was, you were the one that in focus basically. So when I look at the schedule plan, I check back for 5 years now for your business, and I've realized that your wife and Miss and a Big Nail personnel, they have managed every plan, and everything went well, and everybody traveled for the entire time. So I said they already fulfill the schedule plan. Communication, you are definitely good at communicating because everyone knows that. Payments, I don't hear any payment problem. So that means you fulfill that footballing knowledge. You fulfill that and connection outside. So you could have improved sponsorship and everything. And the only thing I couldn't get was the credible and the fully achievable plan that you have for maybe 5, 6 years. And I would have to ask you that direct. But I saw that you fulfill everything. So I'm saying with a man that fulfill all of those things, even if you don't want to do it, why why you don't just put yourself in the act? Because I truly believe that you fulfill all of these criterias to get it done, and you would have done a wonderful job, regardless if you don't interested in it. But the guys them crying out for someone that has these abilities, and you said you have the footballing style, you have the footballing experience. So I came here to ask you why you have to just try get into one of these big positions. I have to be honest, because you are the one that needs to implement a change because of your style. So that's what I'm asking. Oh, Mr. Butler froze, you know? Okay, everyone froze. Oh,
Yeah, can
Brandon,
you hear me, JD?
yes, I'm hearing you, but Mr. Butler look like he
Yeah, I'm
froze.
still here. Yeah, he
No,
looks
I
like
was
he
asking.
froze.
I was
Yeah,
just
there you
asking.
go.
I was just asking
But
him.
yeah,
He seems like he fulfilled everything that the guys then put on the letter. You understand me? They put a letter out, and everything that they were complaining about,
yeah.
I saw that he prides himself into achieve those a task. So I'm just asking him why he just not tried to go out and do it, because I think this spot will be vacant, and I think a lot of people would actually support him.
Yeah, yeah, and
What do you?
I just want to start by the internet seems, yeah, the internet seems to be a bit slow today here at Craig's place. I think it's checking in, but yeah, I agree. I feel like it's something I ask him regularly, and sometimes um, he feels like he's doing a service, fighting for the people, fighting for the players and everybody. Here he comes, and sometimes he feels like he's tired, right? But I know it's a very valid question. Craig, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I think that there's nothing before the time,
Maybe if it
and
goes again.
you know, in order for Rome to be rebuilt, it had to be burnt.
Mm-hmm.
Joining the the mess that is currently there would not necessarily benefit the country. Now that the country has seen, now that the players have seen and understood and taken a stand, because I've been saying it all along. I already have a template. I already have a manifest for the last 4 years that is geared towards taking Jamaica, one, consistently to the World Cups, two, generating income for the country, three, developing players in a sustained way that will ensure that we have professional players continuously leaving this country and earning good money and coming back. And to be honest with you, the last 10 years have been focused on building those relationships with clubs, with football associations. I remember the JFF at one point asked for a game with the Dutch FA, and my partners and I were the booking agents for the Dutch FA. And I laughed to myself. Look at them on their face to themselves if they don't want to deal with me. And I'm making the decision as to whether or not they get to eat their food from the Dutch FA. And so at the time I said no, because I don't believe that And I didn't believe, and people were fighting me, I didn't believe that the JFF was professional enough, and the damage that would have been done to us when we went on a tour like that and looked like idiots would be, very hard to repair. And this is one of the things you need to understand. When you go to that ball game in Europe, you must understand that the agent, the country, the administration is only as good as the last game they played. And I'm not talking about on the pitch. I'm talking about the structure, the administration, how it's organized, everything. I have, in all honesty, between Shirley, Nikki, Eddie Layton, and company, probably the most knowledgeable structure in terms of movement of teams across nations for games and tournaments and things like that, because they've been doing it a long time. In terms of fundraising, Phoenix has Nike as a partner in terms of gear and equipment. But for the most part, Phoenix is self-funded. For these last 10 years, Phoenix has been self-funded. No sponsors. Earn our own money. Transfer our players. Use the money. Build more players. Take them on trips. Get everything organized. Now, one of the main reasons I did that, it wasn't that I couldn't go to corporate and ask for support. But I believed, I was a GM for Toshiba before this. And, at Konica Minolta, I was the director of sales and marketing for the tri-state area in New York, California, Florida, ran my own business for many years. And one of the things that you must always do is you must earn the right to ask for an order. In other words, before you can ask for sponsorship, you must have achieved something that would have allowed for people to want to be associated with you, to associate their brand with you. And I've been on both sides of the fence. I've been where I'm seeking sponsorship, and I'm seeing where I have a budget to spend as well. And while I was at the Toshiba, I created a situation where we said 2% of all sales will go to the national team. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And we gave them the money. But every other business in Jamaica at the time that needed office equipment, copiers, computers, everything, bought from me, because they knew that when they were buying from me, they were able to help the national team. These creative ways of operating, earning income, is what we needed. And we don't have that. All we have in that JFF is people holding their hands out. Yeah? And when they hold their hands out, you don't know if it's going into supporting programs or if it's going into people's pockets. Look at the fields that we have in Jamaica today. I mean, it's gotten to a point where, because of the heat waves that have been happening in Jamaica, it's like it's dust bowls. Kids' lungs are full of dirt when they leave training. Yeah? What have they done with that money granted for the development of academies and such? What use is being done? What use have they had for the Captain Burrell Center of Excellence? Is it being used as a turf field? Yeah, which means that no matter what, over the next 10 years, it will end. It will die. If you leave it there, sun will batter it out for 10 years and it won't be good anymore. It won't be worn more because you use it more. It will actually work better by use because you're moving the rubber particles. So How many teams have they been bringing in to train? How have they used that to establish a national football culture? What is the template that they've been using to give to all the coaches in the schools, the clubs around the island to ensure that the development is a unified singular one? So that a player coming from Dintil, player coming from KC, and a player coming from Phoenix will understand their role when called to the national team.
They're waiting on Paul to get the full contract, so that means they can send down his Maduro straight throat it. At least that's something that I've heard.
Paul Hall is not the answer. Paul Hall is the coach, and he's a good coach, and he's willing to listen, and he has some experience. You see, you need to understand this, JD. You live in Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be familiar with the name Michel Sablon. Are you?
I heard his name a few times, but I'm not familiar to be honest.
Let me tell you the history so you understand. Wilmots and all of those guys who are playing. Belgium didn't qualify for the World Cup, and they were playing horrible football.
Okay. Oh, no, I know who you're talking now. Yes. Okay. The grassroots Krihita towards developing from the youths coming up. So Kevin De Bruyne, Hazard, everyone came through that channel.
But he removed scores from the age 16 down. So no team won the competition. He encouraged dribbling and creativity. But he also encouraged pressing back for the ball immediately as you lose it with the same amount of fervor and enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. He established a training module that all teams used. He brought in 2 times a week the best players from each club to learn with the national programs at all different age groups. Then he brought them back to the clubs and they were to share what they learned. Yeah, he had a team that would go around and check to make sure that the clubs were doing it. And he also made an effort to educate the clubs as to why it is important. It created the golden generation. Hazard, Fellaini, Benteke, Courtois,
Carrasco, Company,
Kevin De Bruyne, Origi, the whole of them. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And as a result of that, if you look at a Phoenix player play, they are different from the Jamaican player. If you look at Leon Bailey play, his skill sets are not the same as those players raised in Jamaica. If you look at Whisper play, different skill sets. It is what I did was I created a module and a plan to develop players based on what our genetics are, which is the same thing Michel Sablon did. Mine is different in that my model utilizes the skill sets that the Belgians use. Mm-hmm. It utilizes the total football and spatial movement of the Dutch, namely Ajax, and it utilizes the work rate of the Germans. But most importantly, we stuck to the basic track and field speed training that is used by Usain Bolt and all of his friends. So when you combine all of that, can you imagine if Usain Bolt had the skill sets and training from the Belgian players and the tactical spatial movement of Ajax players with his body, speed, and power? You know what type of person that would be? It would make Haaland look like him not trying.
Yeah, but I think Usain played too much Sunday ball back then, because when I was actually in Jamaica, my friends usually played with him and Christopher Martin always on Sundays. So I guess he would have been massively better and he could have utilized his speed different, because those trainings are different. So I do agree with you.
So now we have utilized that, we've incorporated it into Phoenix. And the effort to keep Phoenix players out is one of the main things that I have a challenge with, because if Phoenix players shine, then what I'm saying is right. If Phoenix players are not in the national teams, then nobody will see them. If a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to hear it, is there sound? No.
Yeah, true,
If
true.
Whisper is the best player in the world at his age group, but he never gets to show it for his national team or even at a club level, is he the best player in the world? Absolutely not. No
He's
one
the
can
best
see
player
it.
that someone never saw. You know, he would be the best player that someone never saw.
So
Yeah.
this was the effort done by Vin Blaine in the past to kill Leon Bailey and Kyle Butler. Leon Bailey survived. Kyle was crushed in that under 23 campaign when he was captain of the team under Dookie, and Theodore Whitmore came and brought in Kevin Lambert one day before the tournament, and removed the captain and put him on the bench, and lost every game or didn't win every game. And Dookie found the fortitude and the governance to put on Kyle in the last 15 minutes of the last game. And in those 15 minutes, that boy showed the world what he could do. Tapa took control of the under 21s that were going to Japan right after, fired Dookie, and didn't call Kyle. So you can be captain of the under 23s, but you can't get called for the under 21s, which really don't make sense. It shows the ineptitude, it shows the bias, it shows the effort to keep a movement down. And for me, Phoenix is not about Phoenix and Craig Butler bigging up them chests. Phoenix was the microcosm from which I wanted to show what the model for a country could do. So the whole model at Phoenix was developed on that, developed all of these top players over the years, is the same model that we want to now implement at the national level across the island, so we can have all super talented players with tactical awareness together. I sat in front of Oral Tracy the other night at the game, and I told him about the system. I told him about the pressing. I told him about each role and what the players would and should do. And Oral said, Craig, but you're going to need about 5 years to do that. I said, really? No. We had, I think, 12 or to 15 Phoenix ambassadors there in their kit that night, because we do that every night. Every time there's a game, we bring Phoenix players to watch and support the seniors, Leon and company. And I call up each position, and everything that I told him, without me saying a word, I said, could you tell me what is your role? In defense, in the press, in the attack. And they were able to say exactly what I said in every position. Tracy said, say no more. So don't say anything else. I get it.
But what you said just a while ago, because the reason why I wanted to, you said Paula is just a coach, but why is he doing so great? Like, does he not have a system that he goes by? Because I thought that's what he said when he came here. He has a system to implement straight down the pipeline, because that's how he's going to gain success. So he has a similar statement as you know.
Exactly. That's why he's been successful. He understands. And the system, when you have a system, a system is not. Craig Butler may have a system and Paul Hall may have a system. Yeah? Yes. It's not which one is better. It's which one everyone is doing together. It's understanding, each person having an understanding of their role and executing it. So if you bring a kid from Montego Bay that play left back, one from Kingston that play central midfield, they will both understand what number 1 pass, number 2 pass, number 3 pass, number 4 pass is, because of how it's developed across the nation. What I like with Paul Hall, and I'll tell you this, is he understands that the genetics of Jamaicans is speed, skill.
I've discovered that as well.
Yeah? tenacity, and creativity. He has been willing to listen. I've sent him information and spoke to him several times about the pressing game, about transition football, and about playing the game in the opponent's half. Yeah? You see, the top scorer, the all-time top scorer of the Surinamese national team, he's 22 years old.
Yes,
The,
later, yeah.
The Golden Boot winner of the last Nations Cup, he's 22 years old. He's the same player, Gleafilo Vleiter Hasselbank. Yeah?
Yes, I know.
He came to Phoenix at 14 years old. And he stayed from 14 till 18 at Phoenix in Jamaica, training and development. So the model works. Yeah? If it can work for a guy in Suriname, we should be using it here. When you look at the game, that was pleasing to me. That's why I like Paul. Paul, the team played the game in the opponent's half. They pressed and forced them to kick the ball long. When they kicked it long, you had Nana and the central defenders that were calm. They didn't just swing and kick out the ball. They win it and play it to the midfield and start again. You notice there were not a lot of side back passes in this game.
Yes. What I liked the first game they got dominated. Be honest, they lost the midfield. They weren't good at the back. And Damian Lowe was impressive, but Damian Lowe is good at recovering because of his fast pace. But he had to do that in the first game. But what I've learned, that they actually improved for the second game, because what they did, Bessiswar was a problem in midfield. They made sure Lambert and Speedy tracked him and just kept him. Get Ravel to make sure he finds spaces every time to start the press, what you're talking about. So if the defenders have it, Ravel should always have space so he can let loose the wingers them and get back inside. So I thought that he had a good plan and it worked in the second game, and that's why I have to commend you, and you say he's willing to learn, because he got dominated the first time and he came back with something with his better players and improved.
He listens to the players. You also have to think about the fact that this was the first time that the players actually said, took a stand, made a promise, and delivered on that promise. Now, the same players were missing two players, Ravel Morrison and Shamar Nicholson. Shamar Nicholson led the press. Yeah?
Yeah.
Ravel Morrison led the creativity. Leon was late for the game because he was in Ocherios, making sure his family was safe. Right?
Yes.
But when you look at the creativity, when you look at the effort from Shamar Nicholson, once if he lost the ball, his press that he gave, it was there.
His work rate was good.
Work rate was there. Judah Fleming's work rate was there as well. Judah Fleming, I looked at someone, I said, Judah Fleming, I was sitting with Oral Tracy. I said, Oral, Judah is not a skilled footballer. He's a hard worker.
That's what I
when he works hard, listen up. When he works hard, he scores goals. And immediately, as I said, that Judah Fleming win back the ball from the man, fight, pick it up, turn, dip, cut, fire the blowout, left hand corner, right hand corner, left hand corner, and score. Immediately, as I said that to them, or I'll roll over and cheer, they'll dead and laugh. So these are the things. But the truth be told, what needs to happen now is very simple. I'm going to put a team together, that will work towards getting the JFF business in order. We're going to look at how we can get that team involved in the JFF. And I will also be doing some work now to get some of our younger players, older players that have retired from football or should be retired, and see how we can get them into Belgium, Spain and France to do practicums. In other words, to go for a year or two, work in these clubs, learn from these clubs, and be able to bring back the knowledge here, because you can't teach Fuzzy high-level professionalism. He's already, close to my age. You can't teach local coaches who have already been doing this all their life. New trick. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But we have a lot of young footballers that have just retired. Teddy Johnson, for example. Yeah? He's now coaching at Tivoli. He's a good prospect. Take him, send him off to Europe. You have other good coaches, players that have just finished playing at different levels. I need to get, it's a good one. I don't know what he's doing now, but if I could get Jermaine Hugh, I'd want to send him off as well. He's intelligent, creative. Can you imagine if you got Jermaine Hugh to do a practicum at Genk for a year under Michel Ribeiro? Michel Ribeiro is one of the most talented developers of skills and skill sets in the world. He works at Genk. And a lot of the skill sets you see us using, we learn them from him.
But remember, I spoke to you the last time and you said to me, when you went to Belgium, you know the one thing I love about what you said to me, because that was the same thing that reached me when I came here, the environment. That's what made us different. And that's what I think is holding back a lot of the Jamaican coaches and players, the environment. It's the same thing. They have their same friends around them. They don't have to speak a different way. They don't have to learn anything more. So it's hard for them to come out of their shells and find that extra thing. So they are not going to work hard. And you said it at first, difference. They want everything to stay the same way. They want everything to stay the same way. So man like you know that had that experience, you have to go back, you have to try by just decide that, okay, I'm gonna try and change this thing. And no, you have to understand, because the one thing I've learned with Jamaica, you have to use this as well. Because everyone can teach each other. We have realized that the JFF is not fully focused on computing. I think they are very poor in that department. You are a person that deal with computers and technology for the longest time. I think that's what you have to use and get the advantage. And what I'm trying to say is, you have all of the we are the vloggers, and we are like the new media. If we push what you are doing, and we can see that you're the truth, I think it's easily something that can push over the line and you become the main focus if you want to do
If
that.
I can,
I can tell
yeah, if I can jump on and add to that, it's actually interesting. I don't think I've told this story before, even to you, Craig, but when I first came to Jamaica, this was 2018, and I was getting a tour of the JFF at the time. So they took me to a few of the floors. And I think on one of the floors, I can't remember specifically which one, but the person, must have been a secretary or somebody, was sitting there using, this is 2018 again, one of the old, big monitors with the big back. Half the screen was falling off, and she's there typing an email on this. And I was thinking to myself, how can a federation run when even just their basic staff don't have the right equipment, right? And that's such a thing where, now if their equipment breaks down, they can't communicate to players, or they can't communicate to anybody. And it wasn't just that. I remember just looking at the whole office, it was outdated, faxing and all these other older technologies.
When you just came to Jamaica, I went there the other day to get some tickets, got some complimentary, we bought 10 more. And I bought a shirt. It took me about 2 hours to get the shirt. 2 hours.
Yeah.
So how do you generate income with that level of incompetence?
Yeah.
Walking into the JFF today, I remember when I walked into the JFF in 1996, 97, 96, or 95, 96, during the World Cup campaign. It is more archaic now that it was dead.
Wow.
You know, and
Yep.
you know, I think that it shows the thinking of the people and the leadership there. You know, what I'm going to ask of you, JD, and everybody that's there, I won't be president of the JFF. I don't want to be. Not now. There is someone that will be put forward that has earned that right more than me. Someone that I believe corporate, government will respect. And I will support. I will do my job. I want to be, at this time, the person that revolutionizes Jamaican football from the developmental and tactical perspective. There's someone else, I believe, who is older than I am by far, that has earned that right for our country, that has represented our country at the track and football levels, exemplary, businessman, journalist, top personality that knows how to speak, knows how to carry himself, knows how to dress well. Yeah. And I believe that this is the route to go. I think this is the final stages of his life. He's not as young as I am. And I think to top off his career, I think this is a prime way for him to get to finish, which is to be remembered as the person that took Jamaica to a truly professional level, having corporate behind us again, and having the respect to go that way. And I am patient enough and strong enough still to do the work as the developer, the person that institutes that national football culture and provides that recipe for our coach, to work with. You have to understand Paul Hall is raised in England, played at the highest level, not fully exposed to the developmental tactical methodologies used in the rest of the world for creative players. And so I am. And that's one of the main reasons when you look at England and all the creative attacking players that the big clubs are buying, if you notice, a large majority of them are coming from Europe, not necessarily England. Haaland, Robin, over the years, you look at the selections coming in, many players out of Belgium, Ndidi, Benteke, Courtois, all of those guys coming out of Germany, yeah? Kevin De Bruyne coming out of Belgium. Those creative players are coming out of Europe for a reason, yeah? And it's just in recent times that the English academies are actually starting to take note and starting to work more on the creative side and create more creative players. If you look at even some of the English players that are good offensive talents, they don't have a lot of skill sets. They have a lot of speed, change of pace, work rate, So if you look at Raheem Sterling, when Raheem is playing, fast like plane, change of pace, but do you see him with a repertoire of skill sets? Not really.
No, I think he was the last generation came up like that. I think now, like we have the Fodens, Bellamy, they are more of the skilled version. So they have been sent out to learn. And some at Manchester City got Pep Guardiola there to teach them how to be that way. You understand me?
Yes,
So
but
I think that's
the reality of it is, Dujon Richards scored 2 and assisted 1 to beat Manchester City by 3-1.
mm-hmm.
Dujon Whisper Richards out of the Phoenix Academy. Yeah? So
Yes.
we have an advantage already in that we already learned and know all the skill sets and brought it back through me. So my job is not to sit in a boardroom. My job is not to be on the football field coaching. My job is to set the parameters, the model that we will develop our players by, and the way we will play our game, and hand it to the coach. Yeah? Because if you look at what Paul is doing, he's listening to the players, which is key and important. Because I tell people the other day that to be a successful footballer, you have to have 20% ability, 40% coachability, and 40% will. So the ability to execute the directives of the coach takes up 40% of your chances to be successful. 20% is your skills, your ability.
Mm-hmm.
But how you use them and the ability to use them with the directives of a coach is double as important as you actually having the skills. And finally, that will to never stop, to never give up, to fight for it. You know, I'm really proud of the national team. You know, proud of Damien and Chippy and all of them, Ravel, all of them. Yeah, all of them, every single one. Those not born in Jamaica, those born in Jamaica, because they came together and stuck together against really a common foe, which is internal. You know, and now we must give them that support, that administrative money that they need, that so that that organizational structure, that national football culture, that system of play from the youth coming up, so that when they drop it, they'll understand. So whatever Paul said, want to them with some, make sure he's educated as to what we are. Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, but make sure he's educated. We're the fastest human beings on the planet. We're the most tenacious people. We don't back down from nothing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We're skilled and we're intelligent. If we put all of those together, we will recognize how we need to play. Because we're faster in attack, it means we're also faster in defense if trained properly. So if we press, we will force players to kick the ball long. Then the defense will be faster than them anyway. We can recover, start the game. If we're creative, look at how creative Ravel Morrison is. I watched him the game the other day. Unbelievable talent.
But Craig, he's exceptional because he's just someone outside. Because remember, he had travels. You know, it's not even so much Manchester United kids go out and play in Netherlands, Mexico, everywhere. He has. You can see that it's
How
everything
long
that he.
in JD? How long in Belgium now?
Almost overall, I think around 9 year overall, 9 year plus. 9
You
year
hear
plus.
about Keith Kelly yet?
Yes, Keith Kelly. Yes, I heard about him.
You ever hear about what's my guy that I was just talking about him from? Came from Harborview, one left.
Okay.
German.
German, you. Yes, man. Of course.
Just imagine if Jeremy and you got the proper development and training and education. You know, I still haven't seen, apart from Kyle Butler, anybody that can pick a through pass like Jeremy and you.
Okay, so, all right. When back then, when I was actually watching German, I thought that the level of football was too low for him. You know, he seems like he slows down time, but it's just because he was just a higher level than the Jamaican football at the time. Because Jamaica
But you
football,
notice what he did. You notice what he did when he made the pass? If you look at it, stand up and watch. Because nobody was there to teach him that he needs to have a work rate that is high and running into that box and finishing goals. How many goals Germany you scored in lifetime in the box as an attacking midfielder? Very
but
few.
But remember, Mr. Butler, the football has to evolve for him to move, because if no one else moving, what is sense he's moving? Because he's not going to get the ball either, because they're not
Exactly.
thinking.
But it's not the football that has evolved. Jamaican football remains similar. Actually,
Yes.
no, to be honest with you, I watch a couple of the Premier League games and the man never try, Man never try. Tika Davis
Mm-hmm.
tried. And that shows because Tika had some experience in Israel and so on. And he's tried. I say the players are trying to play more attacking football. But the skill sets, the football education of these players is not where it should be. So even though they're trying to do it, they technically are not competent enough to execute it. In other words, you might have a man that can use his right foot and can't use his left. So if you get a breakaway on the left side, you cut back the ball instead of trying to shoot him with the left foot.
And slow down the entire play.
Slow down the entire play. So this is where that developmental model of ensuring that all the players that come to that national program are fully equipped technically and have a full understanding of what the tactical requirements are going to be. You understand? Mm-hmm. So that is what I really wish you guys could read up on Michel Sablaw and what he did. My friend Lenny Bailey, three of us came up together. Me, Christopher Williams, and Lenny Bailey. No relation to Leon Bailey. We grew up as young men in Havendale together, and we came up with the vision. We all started Phoenix together along with Kirk Kennedy and Butcombe and Richard McDonald. And our goals were to use football as a vehicle to advance ourselves, right? We all did well. Chris became the head of Proven. He's now running the Premier League thing.
The Premier League, yeah.
Kirk became a top engineer, building houses, worked with Battleland for years, and now he's doing his own thing. Kit lives in Trinidad. Lenny is in Florida doing his own business. But one of the things I sent it to Lenny, the article on Michel Sablaw, what he did. I said, oh, now I understand. You're the perfect person for that, for Jamaica. Now I understand why you don't want to. I don't want to run for president now. I want to put the man who is going to reestablish some dignity, some honor, some decency, some panache. You know, one of the things I used to like Morel, we didn't agree on everything, but I liked the way he dressed. I liked the way he represented our country as our president. You know? Yes, how you carry yourself mean a lot to the brethren. It means a lot.
He had that aura around him. Yes, he's completely from this president.
But anybody who becomes a president, you need to do that.
No, well, it doesn't. This one doesn't have it. I think he's a nice person and just a humble person. But certain position demands commanding personnels, and I think this is a position that requires commanding personnel.
You are a representative. You are the representative of your country's football, the business of football. Yeah? You are the representative. You are the head. You are to carry yourself as a professional. Dress well. Speak well. Be powerful. Do not be afraid to make drastic decisions. Yeah. Every time I met with my cricket several times, even spoken to him about this, and he's, yes, you're right. Let me go and talk to the other guys about it. You're right. Let me. Yeah, you would be great to help us as a technical director. Let me go and talk to the other guys about it. And of course, they little man them because they're afraid. Shut it down. Or they come and try and find some little loophole to get me out. Like this last thing they talk about. How do you ban a man for 7 years and then do not allow him to do any of your coaching courses and then ask him to give you his qualifications based off your courses? He knows full well, you know full well that he doesn't have them because you blocked him. But what you don't know is where you sent him to be. Where you sent is Joseph Kota Medicolas. Yeah, that's how you go. It's Joseph or Jacob.
But yes, so you went overseas and get something better. So
exactly.
Yes.
More knowledge, more experience, and then if you really want to ask, what have I done that qualifies me? Tell me one person that has developed a player at the level of Leon Bailey. Tell me one person that has developed a player at the level of Gleoful or Hasselbank out of Suriname. Tell me one person that has developed a player like Matthew Wooling out of Trinidad or Wesley out of Brazil. Yeah? Or Dujan Whisper Richards now. Or Dylan John. Or Jamani Bell. Or Denzel McKenzie. You have players coming up. I have players coming up, 1 year below each other, You have about 4 of them, in each age group. 18, 17, 16, going all the way down. Yeah? I have a kid right now we call him Mighty Hands. Right? He's 11 years old. And there's no 11-year-old in the country as good as this kid. Yeah, man. We always name them. Yeah? Mighty Hands.
I saw you the other day telling Gleoful about his, but like you guys met up and showing the respect, yeah, and I really love that. I love the fact that people outside appreciate you, because remember, my channel is a channel that's like a kanka cafe, and you realize how much people give you respect on the channel, because these persons are not Jamaicans. Some of them are Surinamese, some of them are coming from Netherlands. So know about you, and they are the ones informing most of the Jamaicans to say that yes, Gleoful of later coming from the Phoenix Academy and stuff. So people do hear respect, man, and they always say they get their respect abroad before you get it at home. So I just believe that your time will come, and it's coming day by day. So people out there know you, man, and give you the respect. Believe me.
But it's not about my time, because I like feed my dogs, and I like feed my birds, and I like to hang out with my daughters and my wife and them things. And it's not about that. My time has come. I've achieved, JD, all that I want to achieve already, I've self-actualized. I'm the best that I could have ever been. When I look in the mirror, I say, yeah, you do what you set out to do. You gave the world these players. The only thing that is left for me to do.
You don't save Jamaica's yet, so you don't.
Yes, it's to ensure. But whether I become a part of it or I don't, it is changing. The Premier League players are trying to play attacking football. The coach that comes in, he recognizes that we don't need to be playing like Brazilians, we need to be playing like Jamaicans. And we're playing in the game in the opponent's half and we're pressing. The players themselves have grown up. And there's a saying, raise up a child in the way that he should grow. And when he's old, he shall not depart from it. Leon Bailey is in that national team. And every word that comes out of that kid's mouth, tears come to my eyes. Because I hear myself talking. I hear myself on the field telling him every day, you need to press, you need to be creative, you need to take on opponents as a winger. You need to push up the team. Don't kick away the ball. At Phoenix, if you kick out the ball as a defender, you have push up. You have push-ups to do it. You have to play at the 6-yard box. Pressure. That's why Duve is such a talented player. Yeah? So talented. Because he can not only win the ball, but he can start the play, start attack. So he goes forward and he finishes a lot of goals. And Fuzzy, Duve don't want to come anymore. That way come. Nor Whisper.
Because that's what I was going to ask you, because you should have at least 3 like emergency spots, but you wouldn't want the players them to be in the emergency spot, basically, right?
Fuzzy doesn't want to get these players there. He doesn't want to have them there because Eddie or Whisper go to this competition, he will score about 10 goals. And Duve going to be the top defender. Yeah? So he's not going to want to have them there. Because once that happens, then they shine more on Phoenix and Craig Butler. What I'm saying, they give it more credence. So it's like they're trying, when that dam is overflowing and people are trying to plug the holes to try and stop it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're doing. So you have to recognize that and understand that, okay, there's so many more coming that the floodgates are open. The product, JD, the product that started with Sean Laws and Maverick Smith and Jason Wright and Romario Williams has gone into research and development 10 times, 10 cycles. Yeah? The 6th cycle was Leon Bailey and Kyle Butler. We're now at number 10. So you see those players that are coming out now? You have Dujon Richards, you have Duve, you have Dante. Behind them, you have Dante Peralta, I'm going to tell you, if you think we do not, that kid cannot get tired. Today is his day off. Today is his day off. You know what you do? From more than impression me. Thank you 24-hour fitness. They put him in and allowed him to get free training there. And he's gone in by himself to put in some work. 16-year-old. Yeah? He went to Real Sociedad and they loved him. He was the first person they liked. He had Whisper. At 16, he plays better with seniors, adults, because the level at which he operates. Jamani Bell, the top kid out of Wolmer's right now. You ever heard of him?
No. Remember you told me about a lot of them, but because even in the under 20s, it was not Whisper I heard about after the game. It was the defender. The defender wanted you. Yes. So it's surprising that he was not picked when I thought he was going to be picked, because even Cataract told me that I think this guy is good and he's going to be picked because he was the standout in the game in Westmoreland. Yes, in the game in Westmoreland, he was a standout. Yes, so I thought he was going to be picked, but I guess that's how it goes when coaches are not there. They don't know what's going on. I think that played a big part as well, and that comes back to incompetence, because you can't have a manager all over the place and he's not doing one of the jobs. Jamaica forward.
And one of the things that I like more than anything else, and Vince Lombardi was like that. I hate to lose. I love to win and win and win and win. I've studied winners all my life. And I will work my ass off every day just to win. I don't like to lose an argument. Yeah? And so because I'm like that, I will put in the work. No one gave me anything in a JD. Mm-hmm. I work for everything I have in life, Everything. Reputation, everything. You know, I always say to people say, oh, that man that Craig Butler will say anything and he can't be president. No. I will do and say what is needed at the right time. I'm a man that can blow up on you. Brandon will tell you, I'll blow up on you in 1 second to make sure you understand what I'm saying. And then the next second, I'm smiling and talking calm as ever. You know. But you have coaches that cannot win a Premier League and consistently go to finals over and over and just keep losing. How can you pass on a winning mentality to a national team? How can you select that person to lead your national under-20s when he doesn't know what it is to win?
But
you know what I will do to win? Let me tell you. I will pick a player that I don't like, and I don't like his manager. I don't like where he come from. I don't like his family. I will pick him if he's good enough and will help me to win. I don't care who, at the end of the day, I don't care who like it. So, okay, Fuzzy, you don't like Craig Butler. Craig Butler call you out and say you're a shaky warrior. You're not ready. But instead of saying, let me take Whisper, let me take Duvey, I go and win. And when I win, I can beat my chest. I would rather go with a team that is 60% ready, just to prove that I have the power to hurt you, Craig Butler, by knocking those players. You understand?
Yeah, but
country must come before individual every time. If you want to add some expletives to it, every time, and as much expletives as you want. I won't, man. I'll be myself. But
yeah,
every
good.
time, country must come first.
No, but Craig, what we have to ask you, is, if you look at the squad, majority of these players that came in from England, do you think he truly can coach them? Like, what level of experience? I saw them played in the Caribbean club championship. They struggled to remember. They literally never made it. They never made none of the spots. They came fourth and had to come out of it and go into the final one for the fourth spot to play to go back in the CONCACAF league. So that is like the Europa League to make it to the Champions League. You get me? So you have to win. You have to play like 50 million games and come fit like 6th spot to come into the Champions League. And remember that those are teams from Dam Rep and 80, you know, and they out. Some of the teams were just better. Just literally, because I believe, as what the Netherlands teach you, 70% of the football is with a brain. So if you come tell me, say, big, fast, and strong, and you don't have no sense, you're not going to outplay them, because you're going to just be running down.
How that team, you hit the nail on the head. How did that team look to you? Did they look tactically aware?
Craig, go watch the games. You realize you never hear it covered much. Oh my God, man.
To be honest with you, I love Bruce McNally. Rate him, top man. And he's the chairman of Waterhouse. So anytime they're playing, I go and I watch. I go and I watch a game. And I love Arnett. So I go and I watch Arnett and I go watch Tivoli too. It's not about politics to me. It's just love those 3 teams. And Arnett is probably my favorite of all. Right? But the truth be told, what I see is not a system being played, but a facilitator of whatever is available. So in other words, if I pick up the phone and I call in feed 10 Phoenix and bring them on the phone now. I said, what is the role of the right winger? What is the role of the right winger when the left side is pressing? Every player can give you, and if you listen to how it breaks down, you will hear what happens when they win the ball, what they're to do with it, and each person's role is established. The problem with Fuzzy is that he's educated here. And he's educated by the dinosaurs. So all he is a baby dinosaur.
So, but that I think. But look, you have an.
So how you going? So let me ask you, JD.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to get players that are educated at a higher level to comply with you?
That's what
I'm going to
saying.
share what Duvic said to me after the game. I watched one game. The last game I watched was with the u20 against Harborview. I went up there one morning and I watched the game. Duvic was playing centre half. Pearson, a kid named Powell, and Duncan were playing in the midfield. Yeah.
Duncan, yeah.
They had Aldridge up front.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the KC winger, left winger, was playing on the right, and another player on the left that was shaky. I think is now. Here's the problem: Aldridge was not making the curve run in the press and blocking off the back pass to the keeper or to the other side. So the team could go from side to side. The opponent could go from side to side at will. You had Duncan and Paul who played the same way. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Played as attacking midfielders, but deep in the midfield. In other words, they're going back deep to collect the ball. None of them were staying up high behind one behind the striker so he can get the ball and send it through passes. And Pearson, who was put at 6, was found for most of the time in front of the 2 attacking midfielders. Now, Duvic.
But that's his position.
Exactly. Hold on, man. Now, Duvic, who was taught to press, carried the team up to the half line. You know what Fuzzy I tell the man? Say he must back off. He's playing too high. He must stay back off and let them come to him. Now, what he should have been doing was saying, Aldridge, you need to go press the cut off the back pass and press. Winger, you need to press from the outside and come in. Duncan, you need to play higher up the pitch so that you can add to the press. And when we do win the ball, we can give it. So your creative genius, because he's a little genius, you know. Your creative genius can be used to deliver the final passes instead of being so far down the pitch. Powell, I know you want to play like Duncan, but you need to be a box to box today, right? And the more defensive work and in the press. Pearson, who he has played at, said, Pearson, hang back and play the 6 and protect the back line. Make that tackle in front of them. Sell yourself if you want, so that when the defenders are behind you and you press and push, and they push the ball past you, they have a 60-40 chance of making that tackle. Instead, Fuzzy is telling them, the defenders, to back off so that the man can walk through the middle and expose the back line. Now, any defender, Sergio Ramos, PK, any of them, if you have a man dribbling at you with no straight up open, it will beat you.
Yep, because you don't have any start. They have already started long before you. So
exactly. And that goes to show his ineptitude as a coach, his lack of understanding of what our strengths are as a nation. Teams that back off are slow teams. Anybody say back off? Let me give an example. Jamaica played against Costa Rica. The last game against Costa Rica in Jamaica.
Yep, I remember that one well.
The average age of the Costa Rica national team is about 35.
I would say
Year
the
old
average,
man.
every
Brian
average
Ruiz and him
was
friend them.
33 point, around 33 point something. It was old. That's the average. So that means you have 37 years old on it. You have
Yeah,
35, yes.
exactly.
Borges,
You know
Brian
what the
Reed
guy,
was
you know what
old.
Costa Rica did? They played
Mhm.
4-5-1.
Yes,
They
only my
backed
boy
off and gave Jamaica
Campbell alone pressing.
the whole half. They back off and let them play the whole half.
Yeah, man. Yes, man. Yes,
And
man.
then when Jamaica tried to dump the ball into the middle, they had numbers in there, won the ball, look for the counter. And that's how the break and Joel scored.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You play that way with a team like that. If you don't have speed, genetics, creativity, you understand? Strength,
Yeah.
resilience. You play like that. But when you have a player like David, that's 6 foot odd, massive, fast, skillful, creative, you don't tell him to lay back and prostitute himself and wait for people to destroy him. You push up the team, play compact in the opponent's half, have your midfielders who are small, yeah, pressing so that they can force them to kick the ball long so them have a chance to win and start the process. Brain, football brain, not
Yeah,
there.
because if you let them drop off, now you get them have a head start on your defenders, and your smaller midfielders can't use their nippiness there. They're gonna be isolative, and once you get more space, you can pass
Bigger
them fast
space,
to the entire team.
back off, look, back off means bigger space, little
Yes,
guys,
yes.
don't work. Shorter space, little guys pressing, force the ball out. Big guys win,
Guys,
start the
bring
game.
it about the little guys. That's what I'm saying. So when you're telling him to do that, it's a kryptonite for your entire team. You're just telling a man to walk through your entire team without no
And then
resistance.
he wonders why Harborview was able to walk through the middle, send through passes, and beat them 3-1. He had no response. You understand?
Okay. Well, it's
You have a
learning.
player like Whisper. Let me tell you something. It's a Whisper and Phoenix players. I have a house in Harborview, and they have a bus for themselves that take them to school, carry them from school, from after training, from training home. They get their lunch money, and get them food. On weekends, they can go out on a boat to Maiden Key. Them run the sands. From time to time, can go on trips in the country, go river, make them cool them body, a Caymanas River. You treat your players like professionals, and you will get professionals. You treat them like they're less than professionals, and you will get less than professionals. Our national team needs more. Our national youth programs need more. When was their last a national under 13 selected to train together and be taught the systems that we want them to play when they grow up? When the last time they call a national under 13?
I
Or
heard
5
about
years now?
I heard about only the under 15 they are trying to get now, both ladies and guys. So maybe they're gonna try and do the under 13s or get them in from earlier, even before that. But let's see. Still, I don't expect it. I think it's gonna stop at 15 because the president already started complaining that they have so much footballing footballing teams to deal with, and they don't have enough money. He said that 2 days ago. So, you're gonna
The
expect to see?
reason he doesn't have enough money is that there's a misappropriation of funds.
Okay.
Simple. How can you go to Suriname to play a game and you carry a team without securing them to their way back home?
They had their plans before. They had their plans
Shelley
before.
McFarlane is the administrator of Phoenix and Nicola Bickler. Any of them two, me ever propose that to them two, them would have henpecked me till a clock. There's no way those boys would leave Jamaica. No chance. And you're telling me you're doing this with our most important assets?
Yeah.
Leon Neely? Shamar Nicholson?
They all the
RJ
new,
Blake? Damian Lowe?
they,
Ronald
they,
Morrison?
they all have
You
their own
what?
money. They all have their own money. You realize you're calling people that already okay. So that's what they're thinking. If it comes to
It's not about the money. JD,
no,
it has nothing to do with the
no,
money.
no. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm telling you what they are thinking. If it comes to the nitty gritty, to get themselves here, they can pay their own way here. I can tell you that's what they're thinking.
Of course.
You-
Of course they can pay their way here.
Did you listen to the president? The man literally said, he expected them to get paid. What them for no say in Jamaica terms, them for no say when we have the money we pay them fast, and if we don't have it, them know we can't pay them. At that, the man literally said nationwide, you need to go and listen to that. People
But
ask,
you know,
why you
I can't look here now, JD. I won't waste my time to really listen to incompetence trying to justify their incompetence. You're just incompetent, you just blasted incompetent. No. Listen, we have to recognize that I work for a man named Douglas Halsan. Yeah, when I first came back to Jamaica. He said two things to me. He was probably one of the best salesmen that ever walked this country. Brilliant mind, creative, tactician, computers, did a lot of business with government. And he spent a lot of his spare time at the Hilton and drinking his Remy Martin cognac and his Merlot wine. As a young youth coming up learning the business, everybody used to say to me the same things they say about me, they used to say about him. How can you work for that man? He's so this, he's so that. He don't have any manners, him this and that, him face, he think he's better than everybody else. I remember going to Dougie and I said, Dougie, one evening, why so many people don't like you? Why they pressure you? Why they tell me so much negative things?
You're doing
I know you to be a cool guy. Why?
You're doing something
Say,
different.
talk like this, I'm drinking Remy Martin and up in the night and say, Craig, it's very lonely at the top. When you're at the top, you're never going to like you.
True.
And then he went on to say to me that the true mark of a professional is not how well we dress, it's not how well we speak, it's not our governance of the Queen's English.
Mm-hmm.
It's not how sharp if I put on a suit today or in my little flip-flops. It is doing what you say you're going to do. I remember when I was at Toshiba, my suit in the middle of the day, if a machine needed to be delivered and there weren't enough people to put it in the van, they out there in a suit and lift that copy and put it in the back of the van with the man. Because the job must get done. Yeah? I understood that Dalton went when he was down there and all the pressure and more and nothing going on. My man just stand up pump us like him, just top man, that's not my job. You guys have to figure it out. You are the president of the organization. It's your job to ensure that these things are done. If you're not ready, you see me? I'm not good with administration. I'm not good with balancing a bank account. You hear me I tell you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a creative genius. Creative. Think outside of the box. Have vision beyond vision. But the marketeer, which I am, is always the enemy of the accountant. Yeah? So one want to spend the money to make more money, and the other want to keep the money and not spend it. So you always have a clash. And Shelley is the accountant side, the administrative side. And without her, I probably wouldn't have been as successful as I am in terms of getting the tours done and organization and structure. The people at Phoenix, Eddie and Eddie's philosopher and all of that. What I'm trying to say is, if you know you're not ready in certain areas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get competent people around you to help you. Bill Clinton wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed in terms of a president. Hello, Monica Lewinsky.
Mm-hmm.
However, he
He's
was
lady.
smart enough to surround himself with truly competent people, Colin Powell, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at, if I became the president of the JFF, the first thing I'd be wanting to do is to put competent people around me.
Yeah, because you don't want to feel alone. You want to be
No,
successful.
you put in people in administration, not people that are afraid to challenge you, not people that are going to allow you to do whatever the foolishness you want to do.
Yeah, that's the
But
first sign.
people that are competent at doing their job.
Yeah, because they're not going to come to you and say it to you. They're going to come to you and show it to you as well. So if they said it's $5, they're not going to come and say it's $5. So you and them have an argument. They're going to show you the reason why it's $5. So you start to get to learn from those competent people. You know, so I think
suppose I share something with you. I'm going to show you Leon Bailey. Yeah? Leon Bailey has a contract with Flood. Yeah? Ambassador contract. Yeah? Flo doesn't speak to Leon Bailey. Yeah? About things that they need him to do. They speak to his management team. Because Leon is smart enough to understand, yeah, that his job on the pitch, doing the advocacy, doing the ambassadorship, showing up for the events, doing the right things, but the contracts, the negotiations, the timing, the meetings, the shoots, the video shoots, and things like that. The whole organizing of it, the wardrobe, everything. There's a team for that. There's somebody that deals with that. And somebody that's competent and have enough experience in telling the right thing. If Leon, at 24 years old, knows that, who the hell is Mike Ricketts not to?
But that's as I said to you from we started this conversation, Craig. Most of these guys don't come out of their box. Leon has been out of the box of Jamaica, so he has learned to not waste time. Because me and you told me when we were at the gas station in Belgium working, you appreciated time. So time made you a better person. You're not going to waste time. You realize what time means. So true Leon Daly know that he doesn't have the time to go and research and do the subject area to be that person. He will just go and hire that person and then focus on what he does best. And he gets more time to do what he does best to achieve and excel even more. So, but they don't know these things. Remember, you just said our culture is to be the best and act like we're the best. So, even if we're not the best, we're still going to act that way. So, we're going to get a bag of people who are fakers, and we're going to get some people that had that experience to go overseas, and then they become actually the thing that they speak about. So it's just two. It's just one or the other. So you're just getting so much of these people, and that's why
You know,
you're so different.
Brandon, I'm my brain kind of bothered me a little bit. I'm trying to understand something.
Uh-huh.
You realize that for the last 20 years, the management of the GFF hasn't changed. I'm not talking about the president. I'm talking about the managers that book tickets and organize whatever. Yeah? They haven't changed. So you try to tell me, say, is 20 years of incompetence and not learning from your mistakes we're dealing with?
Or it's
20 years?
Or it's 20 years saying that you think everything is going good, because that's what he said, that's what he said in his statement. So if a person is incompetent, and he has incompetent personnel around him, how can he know if that guy is up to par? He's okay because everyone is incompetent. So that you don't have anyone that stands out that you can point out to say he's doing a brilliant job. You get me? So everyone doing the same thing. So that's why you're not going to have anyone changing, because their interest is not Jamaica first. Their
If
interest is not Jamaica.
Albert Einstein, the surest sign of insanity is doing the same things the same way
And
and
expect a different
expecting
result.
different results. Treat
But
a man as he is, and he shall remain that way.
what
Treat
if
him
they
as he
don't?
could become, and he will aspire towards it.
But what if they don't want anything to be different? That's what we keep on reasoning.
That's the point.
What if they don't want
That's
anything
the
to be
point.
different?
And that's why you need someone, not young guns like me or Chris Williams. We need to support that process. But you need someone who has established themselves over the years. Because you see this issue that we're having here with the national team. The biggest problem we have right now is credibility. Credibility, trust. There's no trust from the players with the administration that they're going to do right. There's no trust from even FIFA, because FIFA is coming down there to try and tell them that they need to change. So there's no trust there. There's no trust from corporate Jamaica.
1,000.
Yeah? That's why you're not getting the money.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to put somebody who has integrity, who is old enough to understand how to manage these things. And we need to support him in this one term that he has agreed to do, and let him help to set the foundation for recovery. I've had several meetings with him already, and I think that, is it just like when you look at the Olympic team and you have Christopher Samuda in there,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a certain level of, when you see Chris go to a meeting or something like that, he's an attorney, he has a history, he has a certain level of respect that he brings to the position. You need somebody who can bring that respect now. With me, I don't want to be the president of the JFF. I don't think that I have time, because my life's goal really is to see Jamaica qualify consistently and go to at least the semi-finals of the World Cup. And to do that, I have to put in the work. I can't be on the fluff on the top. I have to be in the trenches.
I
You
know.
watch that movie Gladiator?
Yes, I know what you're saying, yeah, but I still look at it away because no what you would have. Look at what you have and what you do with what you have. You create a unique situation in the entire country. So what if you have the access now to everybody in the country? That's what you're saying, you know. So and then you're refusing that, you know, with the actual amount of money that you sure know you're gonna get 5.2 million from FIFA there, so you can fix up all the facilities that you want. You have the power to bring in more sponsors, and then you have the communication ability to get things done, and you have the people to make your schedule plan, so you can set up a new revolution inside the country. You said you wouldn't want that.
I will answer you in the words of Maximus. A soldier has the ability to look his enemies in the eye. Yeah? The politics of it, I'm not sure that I'm cut out for that. I'm not sure that I want to smile with people that I know are hypocrites and to massage people's egos that are incompetent. If you're incompetent, I'm going to tell you you're incompetent. Yeah?
But you're at the
And
top.
maybe you need somebody at that level that is able to navigate through the sharks without killing the shark population. You understand? Because
Yes,
you need the shark population. You put me in with them sharks, I'm going to just kill the whole of them. And
yes,
you want the sharks in the ocean, so you want anybody to eat the garbage or to clean up the ocean. Simple. Yeah? So let me do my job, what I'm good at. Let me set the system for you to play with. Let me establish it. Let me bring my contacts that I have all over Europe and bring it here because there's somebody that I can trust at the top. And this person will only do it for one term. Yeah? So after that time, when it's clean,
good.
maybe I'll take the step. But to deal with,
No.
brother, we're going to tell Ricketts. Today I call him and I say, how could you? Right after this debacle in Suriname, and I'm ready to do it again with the little under 20 youth, them, you don't book the ticket them for the youth, them. So, for me, I think that right now, the good thing about it is that the players have recognized that this cannot continue. The country has recognized that this cannot continue. And we have people who are fully equipped to take the country to the next level, ready and willing to step in. So, you know, I look at all the parish associations and I believe that they've done such a great job in taking Jamaica's football to where it is now. You know, being given a basket to carry water. You know, it's like, you know what I see them as? I see them as people deserving to own a hotel, being given a plot of land and a donkey for their work. And them accepting it because they don't realize what their value is. You know? Mm-hmm. So, election time come, they get promised some little trips, they get promised some little foolishness, and they will put in that person that promised them that. Whilst not realizing they've just sold out the ability to have big stadiums running in them parish, to have big competitions running, to have transfers at the highest level going on from their parish. to see in Jamaica having 50, 60 professional players playing at the highest level, making money, sending back to the communities, inspiring more people, even not in football. The little girl that when they done call her at 14, 15, and her parents push her out, she will say, no, I'm not going because if the footballer them can make it, I can become a doctor too. And I sell out myself, I'm going to hold it. I'm going to run the stay my auntie down a way. I'm going to study. I become a doctor because she inspired and believed that she can do better. That's what football is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you were around during that 1998 campaign, but René Simoes, big up to the head, bro.
Yes, I was
And
big
if
enough.
I had a chance to do it all over again, I'd sponsor that national team all over again. I remember I provided the programs and computers and everything for René to start showing, using technology to show the players how he wanted them to play, the systems, provided copiers, everything for the national team. Provide them money, create the adapter player program, 100% behind them. And look at where we are now.
We're worse
Keep
off.
us around the grave.
We're
No,
worse
don't
off
joke
in
about it.
2022 than what
Huh?
we were. We are worse off in 2022 than what we were in 1998. Makes no
We're
logical.
worse off in 2022 than we were in 1968.
Oh, 1968. I can't comment on that one because I weren't born in 1968.
I was born in 1968, but I can tell you of Babrico Ventura. I can tell you of Jumpy Harris. I can tell you of all those top players. I can tell you of Alan Skill Cole. How many, when you walk into when you walk into the JFF, there's a picture of Ricketts on the wall. Where's the picture of Linda Delapena? Where's the picture of Ali McNabb? Where's the picture of John Barnes? Where's the picture of Alan Skillcole? Where are the pictures to inspire the youth then who represent them country of the greats that went before them? You know, the things that I appreciate, and that's one of the reasons that I'm willing to not run for president right now. I appreciate the understanding to honor those that went before me. David Hunt died of a heart attack. He was a national coach. Under 23. Yeah? He died of a heart attack. Where is his picture in the JFF? Shame on you! Where is his picture? His pictures are on my wall. Mark Mendel's picture is on my wall. How are we going to understand where we're going to if we don't know where we're coming from?
But Sir Butler, I remember, we just talk about things. Remember, I think the problem, what I left from this conversation is, I think I've learned a lot about what my culture lacks. This might come away, but I think like empathy is not a natural thing that's in our culture, because remember, we are tough people. So they don't see it like it's needed. I'm telling you,
It's not empathy, it's ingratitude. If I walk into KRC Genk right now, into that academy, and I look on the wall, I see Leon, I'm not talk small picture, they have murals on the wall of Leon Bailey, of Kevin De Bruyne, of Thibaut Courtois. You understand? I see those images. Why are those images there? To inspire the younger ones to work hard to become like them, to honor them. How many young people actually know of Mabrico Ventura? You know who him is? You ever heard
No,
the name before?
no, you asked me earlier in the conversation. Remember, it's the same name. So, and I've learned about it because I listen to what you said and I write things down. When I'm talking to people like you, I'm not gonna miss nothing. I'm writing things down while I'm
The
talking.
point I'm making is, why is the JFF's walls bare and dirty?
Because it goes back exactly to what I was saying before. They don't want nothing to change, so they don't
Why
want
are
to
the
change nothing.
halls filled with water, sponsored water bottles all over the place? Is this how we want FIFA to see us? People treat you the way you show them how you live. If you want to be treated, it's when I go to a meeting, so I'm gonna represent, bro. So I put on my clothes, I'm gonna represent Jamaica. I'm gonna represent Leon Bailey. Eh? There's nothing on earth sharper than me. My mind is ready. Not one hair in my eyebrow out of place.
All
My
right.
suit.
Yeah.
I have on my watch what my son give me, which I don't want to. I still vex with him because I buy it for me because it's expensive. Right? But I will go and I will represent. Because when I go into, let me show, let me give you a lesson I learned in sales. People buy from people they like, and they like people that remind them of themselves. So when you're going to sell to a bank manager, yeah, and you dress, and you're going and you're dressed in a business suit, you're properly groomed, and I'm going in a jeans shorts and a pair of little slippers and a tear-up t-shirt, and my hair don't come. And we're both going, and we're both telling him we want him to invest $3 million US in putting in a proper connected system for him, computer networks, output devices, everything. And I am saying to him, I have the capacity and professionalism to get this service delivered for you, that when you invest your money with me, I'm going to deliver for you. And I'm in my little tear-up jeans shorts, I'm in a little t-shirt, here Doko. And you have on a business suit and you're walking and shaking him and looking in my eye and telling him the same thing. Who you think I'm going to buy from?
The one that he likes the most, and the one that he would like the most, is the one that presents himself a little bit better, because you're selling yourself at the same time. You present
But a
yourself.
bank manager has to wear a business suit every day. He has to carry himself in a certain way. He has to express confidence to his investors. And so he will at the same time believe that you will do the same. It may be the opposite in terms of what you can deliver. But the point of it is, if I am going to represent Leon Bailey or to represent any player, and I am not properly equipped with the tools to do it, when I go into that room, if the capacity of the player to make 100,000 is there, and I am not properly attired, not properly put together, I'm not properly prepared to answer the questions and deliver, then he may get 20,000. But if I am prepared, I will get 100,000. And this is what I have a problem with. How do we, this JFF office is where our footballers go for meetings. It's where business people come and see what we're about, that we want to have join us as sponsors. It's where FIFA comes and see where our home is. The elevator hasn't worked for the last 15 years. with a big sign on it, no elevator. When you go in and you look at the offices of the people, the desks are all torn up. People use pin and throw things all over them. Stick up picture, black and white, photocopy picture. I think that frame picture, you know, black and white photocopy picture on a pin board. It just looks shabby. And this is where what represents our national football, the whole program from the building down to the last man. You know the man that I have the most respect for down there? He's a little man that work and walk and deliver and pick up things and think. He's been there from the 1998 campaign till now.
Is that Mr. Burrows?
Huh?
Mr. Burrows? Manly Burrows?
Like a skinny guy.
Skinny. Oh, I'm not sure. Oh, I think I know who you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Manly also drives him around.
Yeah. No, he has been there from that time till now. Yeah? And he knows everything. And he remembers everything. He recognizes me for who I am. Them you guys don't know, say, I was the biggest sponsor of the national team. And he honors me. Now, why couldn't they have taught these new guys what the history of the JFF is, where we're coming from, and where we wanted to go to? There's no succession planning. There's no education. If you look at a Phoenix player, I said to him, the Phoenix can, he's going to tell you never die. If you ask them, who are the first three pioneers of Phoenix? They say Leon Bailey, Kyle Butler, and Kevin Atkinson. What did they do? They went to Austria. They can give you the whole rundown from the youngest kid going all the way up. Is like Brandon?
No,
Yeah.
I've saw them for myself the last time when we talked. Remember, we go through all the phases, you know. Yes, so I do believe you.
So JD, the reason that I do this, you know, and did this and established that with Phoenix, is that you need to know what people have done for you before, so you appreciate what you have.
Yes. But that's something you instilling in them. But it still goes back to say, if these guys came in, they never really, and that is the problem that I hate, you know. You see, when people get things too easy, they tend to not cherish it. So their preparation to keep it, it's not really the same validity they use to keep it flowing. It's like they
So
always
all they have to do is just be a part of the parish association then.
Yes.
Agree to run some opportunities in terms of giving out some position to someone, and you can become the president. You don't have to go to Europe and battle for 10 years and get knowledge. You don't have to do nothing like that. You don't. You have people. There are people in this country. God rest his soul in the Developmental, but Ali McNabb is still here. Right? If you look at what he has achieved over the years, how has he been honored by the JFF? Mauricio Ventura Sr., he has been probably one of the biggest developers of young talent in the past. His son was Risha Ventura, Valentina Ventura, Mario Ventura, Aaron Lewis came through him. So many good talents. How have we honored these people? Is some little man, I don't know nothing about the history of the football. I run the program, you know. So they're not gonna value the program. They're not gonna love the program.
That's what I just said.
They're not gonna love Jamaica football. And they're gonna take people like me and say that I'm arrogant and I'm this and I'm that. Listen, I'm a product of Mark Mendel, Jimmy Sinclair. I'm a product of David Hunt. I'm a product of Mr. Ventura. I'm a product of people like Ali McNabb who taught me how to shoot the football as a little boy. And I will continue to do what I believe is in the best interest of our country. And I remember when I went through my own Waterloo, and had to try and understand why people would do the things that they would do to me at times. I studied history, really studied it. I looked at American history and old Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Medgar Evers and Emmett Till and Rosa Parks and Frederick Douglass and the whole history.
Mm-hmm.
And I understood that one simple thing: if you want change, if you really want change, you have to sacrifice. You have to take a stand. When I look at our own history, Paul Bogle, dead. George William God, dead. They died for what we have and take for granted now. You understand? Sacrifices had to be made. The person that was willing to sit down and go through their life, which one of the people I rated the most in terms of the fight for freedom and equality and justice is Frederick Douglass, because he was a freed slave already. Yeah, he was a half-breed, and he was educated, and he could have chosen the path of what many Uncle Toms did. The man who working in the master house, so he look back on the field slaves and say, yo, them man there different. I am not. He don't consider himself black, And he could have taken that approach. Instead, he fought tooth and nail, not just from a abolitionist methodology, but in terms of networking, negotiating, talking, getting people to believe what he believed in, and force the issue so that we're all free men now. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But how many people look at the Jamaican situation and the injustice that is being done to our football potential as a nation by these slugs, and actually are brave enough to stand up and be counted and do something about it?
I think it's a lot, because I consider myself as one, but the problem is we need people. Look, for instance, I have a good fan base, and I've realized that people willingly ready to want to go out and protest. People willingly ready to want to buy a plane ticket for someone. It's just because they don't have that personnel that they could back to go and say, this is the person that could go and take it over. So it's two different things. People they're willing to do things, but most of them ain't in Jamaica. That is the problem that we're facing now. So that's why I came to you.
But that is because, JD, that is because there's no infrastructure. You should
Yes.
have a marketing department that has an online store where you can buy your stuff. And Brandon, don't we have one?
Well, we have
Foundation have one?
we have one for Leon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
if you want a Leon Bailey shirt, we can sell you. If you want one of his branded outfits, we can sell you. You can buy it online. The question is, what does it take for you to put, you see, when you don't have vision, what does it take for you to put in systems like that? What does it take to have a point person, to even have a GoFundMe account running for the national team, to support the national team?
It's not happening. Believe me, it's not happening. I told you, computing is the problem at the start of the conversation. It's not happening.
It can't happen. And it can't happen because you have dinosaurs at the helm.
Yeah, that's just true, man.
And dinosaurs don't like mammals. because marbles represent change, the future, and the end of the dinosaurs. You think they could have let Craig Butler in the JFF and Craig Butler sit down and work with those people that are in there? Think about it. Do you think I could become, say for example, a staff member of the JFF and accept how things are? Things had to come to this, in order for good people to be willing to go on board,
Yeah, and that is what I wanted to ask you, because now the guy has not resigned, and the guys them said they are not going to play, and now they know that he is refusing to resign because that's what he's doing now. He just wants his money, so you have to either give him 10 million or he's not going anywhere. So, what would you advise these guys to do? Because I say if they don't play, and FIFA step in and ban Jamaica, I don't have a problem with it, because tell you what, the whole of them would have to leave and we have to restart. It better we pick
Exactly. Exactly. But at the same time, the president would have to go, because it's the president that gave his word that he would get rid of them, rid of Wint.
But if they don't play the game, FIFA will ban Jamaica. That's what will happen. So you won't have any JFF. So if people I don't actually understand. They're gonna. The only problem, what I read and the rules, they might ban the players them, and not just. So it kind of would have harmed Lee and Bailey and those guys, because they would have gotten banned from their clubs. It's deep, if you forfeit a match, it's deep. So we have to read the rules. So we don't want nothing to really harm the guys then. But
the reality of it is, if he refuses to leave, but okay, you ever say, you ever playing football yet, and a little youth is a nasty little person and nobody don't like him,
mm-hmm.
and you play the game, so nobody just don't pass the ball to him and just act as if he's not on the pitch.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't want to leave, so long as nobody give him any work to do, and nobody talk to him and nobody deal with him, and he's not handling any matters for the team, he can sit in there and collect his salary so until him contract run out. And something that deal with him, I walk around him every day. I'm coming to the office and nobody don't talk to him, nobody don't work with him. Because if that's what it will take. But what I don't understand is why I knew it up. Because when they were saying that, oh, he will resign, I said, yeah, but what happened when they play the game? Or they just said that to get them to play the game? I said it to Leon. And then after that, they rescind. Mm-hmm. What is to stop them from rescinding that promise?
Because they gave the word on the internet that he can't reverse. He's gonna either get fired.
Yeah, but they said that nothing came from him. If don't say a word all now,
what about? Did they specify when he would resign? Because maybe they're saying he would resign at the end of his term in 2023, maybe. But that's kind of what they're saying.
They never give you a date. They never give you a date.
They said he would irrevocable decision to resign. You don't resign at the end of your term.
Yeah,
your job done.
Your job finished, so it has to be sometime within that time.
The resignation that they demanded would have been for now. But what he's doing is he's playing a strategic game in that if he doesn't resign, to get rid of him, they have to pay him off.
Yes, so fire him.
So the money what him done, what him want to do already. Yeah? With it.
Yeah.
So the man do him a plane ticket for travel. He want more money on top of it.
Yes. And if you fire him, he can collect that money plus sue you for grievance. Like you can't prove why you fire him. So I think he might even want more on top of that 10 million. He might want 5 more.
Well, my position is very simple. Left him where he is, take that money, invest it at the teams, invest it at development, Like he sit down there and rot in the position and walk around him office like he's not there. Nobody talk to him, nobody respond to him, nobody carry out any directives from him. And that's it.
Okay.
You understand? You just go around him. That's the only way. Because any other way, FIFA can ban Jamaica.
Yes, yes.
But if them don't play, then ban Jamaica. If they try to force him out, if they cause, just look here. Dalton Wint is not all that sharp, bro.
The president said it, and I think that's what got him upset, because he said he never really learned much since he has this job. So how can you come out and tell someone that the man is stupid, and then you're going to have him in that position? What
The question is, if you don't hire the General Secretary of Jamaica to learn, you hire the General Secretary of Jamaica to teach. Yeah? In other words, you don't bring in a man that you need him to figure, to learn. You bring in a man that will teach you, that will make sure everything runs smoothly. You in charge, bro. You're the man who will make things happen. You're the man who, you see, if I was the General Secretary of JFF, you know how much money we make already? Because I get a lot of friendly games with top countries. And I make sure that the players are promoted at a high level. And make sure that the best possible coaches are brought in. And make sure that the education level, the education of coaches is at the highest level. We're not talking like a training session or speed by the friend and put on. I'm talking about bringing in top people. Top coach, bringing in a Dimitri Leconde. You know Dimitri Leconde? He's the technical director of Genk. He has now been appointed the sporting director and given a longer term and more power. And he run Genk.
So they will just bring him straight here. And he would
Dimitri Leconde was willing to be the national coach and technical director here. And the man don't even look at it. Now, Leconde, his family owns one of the biggest tire manufacturing companies in Belgium. So he does not need the money. You can't pay Dimi. Dimi would have come because he loves Jamaica. He's been there 3 or 4 times. He loves Leon, and he believes that he could help with the talent. You have coaches all over that are willing to be a part of it. Michael Ensian out of the US. So many of them. And yet, Fuzzy, who can win a Premier League, where was our under 20 coach, and keep up the same foolishness for them always keep up. I move the top player them and I put in them friend them and them something. That's all right, bro.
Well, we have to just try.
And it come from the top down, because Dalton Wint, as the president has said, is, as he said, stupid. So the president said,
I can't literally play what I'm saying now, because I have
yeah, but you don't want to hear. Can you play?
Come on, they will play them, man. Yeah, they will play them. Because I played it on a show. They were asking him live questions, and he was struggling to answer them. Let me try and get them to make sure. All right, so these are from Mr. Peter. Let me get it. 1 second. Brian Peter, yes. So I have it. I will connect it here to my system so I can play it. All right, so these are when they are asking him every question.
As well as to Secretary stepping down.
Are you hearing it?
Report. Nationwide Sports understands that Dalton Wint has stepped down as General Secretary of the Jamaica Football Federation, JFF. According to our sources, Wint, who has been under tremendous pressure since assuming the post of General Secretary in October 2017, is reported to have handed in his resignation, and that's late yesterday. It's understood that the JFF is preparing to issue an official statement on the matter. Wint, who returned to the island yesterday morning, along with the rest of the delegation, following a 1-1 draw with Suriname in the Nations League on Saturday, reportedly had a fallout with members of the Reggae Boys squad who demanded his resignation. In a voice note which went viral on social media, JFF President Michael Ricketts is heard agreeing with a member of the team that Wint should resign. The player in question said in the voice note, the only way the players will move forward is if Wint is removed. It's understood the Reggae Boys were threatening to boycott the second fixture against Suriname set for the National Stadium today. The squad has refused to train with only a short time left before the return fixture. It's understood that several administrative errors, including the failure to properly schedule the players' return flight to Jamaica this weekend after the away fixture in Suriname, are among the issues that upset the Reggae Boys. Joining us to flesh out these issues now is JFF President Michael Ricketts. Good morning to you, Mr. Ricketts.
Hi, madam. Good morning. How are you? Good morning to all your listeners as well.
I'm not too bad, and my co-host is Ricardo Brooks.
Good morning, Mr. Ricketts.
Good morning, sir.
So, Mr. Ricketts, could you tell us what is the bone of contention now with the players and some of your administrative staff?
My own interpretation is that something obviously has been brewing, and it really came to a head while we were in Suriname.
Mm-hmm.
What happened is that we had reached out to our host, because of course in those parts of the world you always going to have challenges to move around. So we had discussions with the president from that member association, and we decided that we would share the costs, and they would save 40 seats because they would have had a charter to take their team to Jamaica. So we negotiated with them and said, all right, we're going to take 40 seats on your charter, and then we would come back home while you were coming to play us. They tentatively agreed. Late last week, we got a message from them to say that a number of their supporters wanted to come to Jamaica, so they have actually sold the seats to these supporters. We immediately got back in the marketplace, and we got a flight from Paramaribo coming into Port of Spain. Well, the flight would have gotten there 1 hour before the Caribbean Airlines departure flight from Port of Spain to Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
So we engaged Minister Grange, and we wrote the Caribbean Airlines asking them for some security to ensure that we make this flight, to just push back their flying time so that they would get it done. Before that would have been sorted out, we got news that flight had been cancelled. Our next option now was to get a charter from that venue into Port of Spain.
Mm-hmm.
We engaged a airline, and they agreed. We decided no, they said to us that they would leave at midnight on the after the game.
Mr. Ricketts,
They would, yes, sir.
at the top of the conversation, you noted that the issues have come to a head. Are these issues unique to what occurred in Suriname? Because we have a statement here from the Reggae Boys, and they say, and I'm going to quote it for you. This has been, they say, I'm picking up, this has been our reality as Reggae Boys for far too long. We haven't been prepared to be successful, and when we're not, we the players get all the blame. When in fact, it's more than just what happens on the field. Time and time again, the JFF shows us that they don't care about the players or the state of Jamaica's football. They say we're drained, we're tired, and enough is enough. They say it's another example of incompetence displayed by the leaders of the JFF. So are these issues unique to what occurred in Suriname, or did that just...
Absolutely not. I mean, this is during a pandemic, and flights get cancelled, players miss flights,
So no,
Mr. Rickes,
what I'm specific,
1 second, Ricardo. We want to benefit from what you're saying, Mr. Rickes, but it seems you're driving.
I am, yes.
Oh,
All right,
Yeah.
okay, I could pull over. I mean, pull over.
we'd be grateful. We'd be grateful.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so these are issues that are not unique to us. Absolutely not. And during the World Cup and the World Cup, we tried as best as possible to avoid shorter flights. And that's the only way to go, but it's an expensive exercise.
no. So the question wasn't. So the question wasn't. The question wasn't whether these issues are unique to Jamaica. The question is whether what we're seeing from the boys represents a continuous action from the JFF. They're claiming that this is just another example of incompetence and the leadership just doesn't care about that.
And the truth is that this is not unique to us. I mean, see what happened to Canada and Canada refused to play because of fair logistics. So it's not unique to us. It's
We robbed the bank, but there are other bank robbers.
Making mistakes, we're not infallible, but these sometimes are just unavoidable. I mean, we would never do anything to jeopardize the health and well-being of the players or the programs of the JFF. But these are extremely, when in the space of 4 or 5 days, you're forced with several changes. First thing, they say that they'll have to sell the seats to their supporters. The next thing, the flight was cancelled. The next thing, we got a charter who we understand afterwards was the same charter that they were using. We didn't know that. I mean, things are just extremely difficult. And in an environment where when you're not a watch with catch, you just have to search around for the best. So it's never a situation that we've been disrespectful to our players. In fact, not from my own perspective. And I'm sure there's not one single board member who would anyway be disrespectful to us.
That means you had been communicating.
You see, it is the incapacity that exists within even the president to understand what is disrespectful or not disrespectful to the players. Because he's so used to players begging for the opportunity
That part was
and taking anything you dish at them. You know, I know of scenarios where Wint and their media cronies that they usually took with them on trips are heading into the business class seats, whilst the players who are playing are put in economy. You know? I remember one of the players having to say to me that he had to stop one of those media cronies and said, listen, wait until all the players are on the flight before you enter. Do you understand? Wait until all the players are on the flight. Do you enter? You know? The reality that is facing Mike is that there's a revolution that is going on with players. Players are now, you ever heard the saying, let the buyer beware? Is a Latin term, yeah? And as a result, the players are aware of how they should be treated. The problem is, he's not aware because he's lived in this small little shell and operated with all the people in this little shell for so long, treating them so badly that when you have players that are now out and recognizing that they should be treated better, should be communicated with better, and dealt with as professionals rather than little kids that just accept whatever you tell them to do, is where the problem is. And that's why he's speaking the way he speaks. And they're trying to share the load. In other words, this is not unique to Jamaica. I'm sure it's not unique to Jamaica. I'm sure it's unique to some other countries that are.
What he's telling you is unique to Jamaica. He's just lying and finding something to tell you. because
Of course.
he said opposite up from what you said. You said they couldn't pay, the cash never pay over to Suriname, so that's why they sold the seat. He said
That's the
they
truth.
sold the seat. But that is opposite he's telling
He's
people.
not saying that. I called today because I wanted to fight. I'm like, you guys, I called him. I said, you guys are still going out with the same foolishness after you just get boxed up fate with the senior team. You come and you still do it with the under 20s? Oh, no. Those people just wanted to get a charter. They wanted to get a charter because they didn't want to travel through Panama and stay 2 days. The same people that just saved this tail end so that the under 20 team could travel, he's throwing them under the bus immediately and saying that they wanted to. You know the story behind it, right?
No.
The under 20 players, those who did not have US visas.
Or the trip to get to Honduras. Yes.
Yeah, to get to Honduras. They didn't book the flight then until there were no seats left. Right? So they're stuck with those 14 players who don't have US visa.
Oh my God.
I don't know how they're going to get them over to Honduras. And the poor parents then, is the parents have to sit down and hustle up and find money for charter a flight for those 14 kids. 2 7-seater to carry them. Yeah? And when asked about it, his deflection is that his parents didn't want to travel to Panama and stay the 2 days, but the kids stayed the 2 days. So they suggested they do a charter and they will pay for the charter.
Okay. Wow.
How low can you go? Really?
So why is it that people begging money for the charter if the player's parents says that they could have paid for the charter? You see what I'm talking about now? These are where the
It is when they didn't have any JDs, when they didn't have any flights and they realized the expert hit the fan, that they went and dig up and beg sponsor and get support from different people, and parents drop in money, and that's how they get them to go. Now,
see, people inside the chat are telling us from Suriname, saying that the SVB, which is the head of Suriname, stated that they never made money over to this SVB. So exactly what you said. People in this chat agree with you. Yes.
exactly. So what is happening, you see, is that in the past, when they said Leon Bailey wasn't good, it was at the beginning of the advent of social media. So you could get away with saying you've never seen Kyle Butler play and you don't know what his talent is. And then when he tried to come to training, they don't let him in. Back then. But now, fast forward, yeah, from 2011 to 2022, that's 10 years. You now have social media that when we're on a show and we're discussing it, the people from Suriname are saying, it's true, Mr. Butler, tell him. And the boy
Yes.
never pay with.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Because that guy in the chat knows exactly the person in the SVB. That's why I know you're talking the truth, because I know the truth. You know?
Yeah? So at this point, you can no longer play this game where and we did this and we did that and they didn't. No, that political talk not gonna work again. People have sense now, and people can find information easily. Yeah, you can't say that Whisper not good because when you look all over the internet, it's a Whisper finish in Manchester City. You see him destroy Tottenham. You see him play against Reading. You see him destroy playing against Sheffield. You see him playing against Aston Villa and scoring 4 goals. You cannot deny the quality of the player. So if the quality of the player is not an issue, why, Fuzzy, have you left Whisper? Why have you left Don Mitchell? You're trying, my friend, along with your compatriots, to stem a river that is roaring and will wash you away. It's only a matter of time.
Totally understood.
And what you do when you do that to people like Whisper or Don Mitchell is exactly what happened to Leon. Exactly. And it created a fire, an understanding of your ineptitude, ingratitude, and injustice. So that when the time comes and he has the opportunity to do what's right, you'll feel no way about disposing of you. So your time is limited, my friend. Hope you win the Premier League this year.
All right, Father. But like, and that's where we should just leave it off, man. Believe me, you show me some good points. It's actually have a 5, And I was actually going to my bed, and Richie called me, and I said, "No, man, I'm gonna make sure I take this opportunity to come and speak with you about trying to convince you to see if we can go on a quest." But
Brandon, is it Richie out there? Richie is on the chat.
Yeah, I saw Richie earlier. He was here. He was talking. Yeah. But yeah, the show is having our longest show ever, 3 hours. So I think.
Okay, yes.
All right, so we're almost done, but let us take some of the comments that I'm not seeing any of the comments in them, Brandon. Let's answer some of the comments.
Let's see. A lot of it, people talking back and forth about same sentiments that you're talking about. There's a question asking because earlier last month you were talking about the Costa Rica trip, if that happened with some of the players, or how did that go?
No, when I was in Spain, I got my 2 kidneys shut down. I almost died, guys. Lost about 30 pounds. You remember, Brandon, when I came back? Of
course.
I mean, I'm now at about 70% in health. And I go between 70 and 75 and then drop back down. But we want to send the players. We're still going to do it this summer. But I have to go with them, and I'm not nowhere near ready to travel again. I mean, literally, I'm not going to, I don't want people to believe that I'm crazy or anything, but I want to tell you that I had a near-death experience. My fever went up to over 104. Had rigors. If Shelley wasn't there, I owe that woman my life. I'd be dead. But I remember having an experience, and maybe this is not the right place to speak about it. But
yes.
But I felt my spirit come out of my body. And like how a drone goes above? I was going higher and higher. And I saw my dead grandmother. I saw Mark Mendel. I saw Wagga. I saw my uncle that died. And my grandmother was a very big part of my life. And she, I remember her looking, the daughters didn't speak. She just said, "Craigie, get back down there. Your job isn't finished." And my spirit, I just went straight back into my body. And maybe it was a hallucination. I hope it was. But one of the things that I can tell you, I left that experience knowing that there is life after death. And it made me even more determined to get home. I didn't want to go to the hospital in Spain. The doctors at Real Sociedad was really good to me. They gave me all the antibiotics I needed to get to a point where I could travel. And I came home. I could barely walk. People had to lift me out of the car and all of that. And, I tell you something, I took my shoes off the minute I got home and put my foot on the rock. And when I feel the rock of Jamaica, I went almost like 20% better. Can you imagine going for like 9 days and not eating because you can't process it.
Yeah.
And your fever and you're roasting and you're shaking like your whole body. But it was tough. I've never had an experience like that. But one thing I can tell you, I appreciate my family. I appreciate my country. I appreciate what Shelley did, because if she wasn't there, I'm sure I'd be dead. Sure. No two ways about it. Because there wouldn't be anybody there I mean, I couldn't regulate my own temperature, guys. So she would have to take me and put me in the shower to get me warm. She'd turn on the hot water on me. And when I freeze until my feet got so cold and my body circulation shut down, she had to put me in the hot water to get me warm. And then to get me cold when I overheated, she had to put me in the cold water and cool me down. So it was horrible, you know. But one thing I was proud of, I was able to go and watch the practice game with Whisper and Dante and Buster and Duvey. And they played so well for Real Sociedad U19 versus the third division, I think second place team. And they won the game. And I think Whisper had an assist. So very proud of the experience. But I want to share with you guys, and I want you to think about this. Blessed is the man that plants the tree, knowing he will never enjoy the shade. Yeah? So in other words, you do things today, knowing that you personally won't benefit from it. You know? But in years to come, we will see the national team being like what our track and field is, top in the world. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Can you envision that? Just look in your mind's eye and see Jamaican young players getting opportunities like this to go to different clubs all over the world, you know, to make money, to give back to the country, to continuously be making it to a World Cup, to even winning a World Cup and lifting that trophy. You know, people don't realize countries go through phases. Africa at one point, when Drogba and the rest of those guys were coming over, were the place to look for top footballers. Now they're starting to look into the Caribbean because of Leon and friends. We need to give them something to find when they look here. And if we continue to live in the quagmire of filth that is the JFF now and how they operate, we will never be able to give them, or we're going to lose this opportunity. And we cannot afford it. We cannot. Gentlemen, good night. God bless you. And I could keep up the work.
All right, then. All right.
Thank you guys. Like the video, share, subscribe, everything. Appreciate you. See you next time.
Yeah, follow up the thing, because we have to make some money to, I guess. I don't know. We ever make money out of this, Bernard?
Yeah, we have some of the AdSense we'll have to look at afterwards. Like I said, it hasn't been paid out yet. I need to figure all that out.
All right, take care, Brandon, and Sir Craig Butler. Yes, bye-bye.
All right. Thanks for being here, JD.
No problem, man. Anytime you want, you just call me, yeah? All right.